here we are. The stage is set for round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. This is the opening ceremonies. During the halftime break, we saw a lot of rain. Right now, some umbrellas are out, and our drivers look a little bit drier, but they're about to get hot, heavy, and wet. But first, we have our opening ceremonies brought to you by the United States Air Force. So please pay attention to the screens. Young men and women with blue shirts on are about to enlist into the United States Air Force.
I'm Major General Ed Thomas, Commander of the Air Force Recruiting Service, and I'm proud to join each of you today to deliver the oath of enlistment to the members of our Air Force Delayed Entry Program. These young Americans are our future leaders, innovators, and warriors, and I'm proud of each of their decisions to join the United States Air Force, the greatest Air Force in the world. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kevin Landon.
I, Emily Hall.
I, Nicholas Bruce Grigsby.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
According to the regulations.
According to the regulations.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you all, and aim high.
All right, if you would, those small people in attendance right now, but for those that are watching from the comfort of their own home, if you would, please stand and remove your hats for our national anthem. Let's make some history here. Let's make some history out round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Our first ever event with no attendees, but you will still see the awesome action here at Evergreen Speedway, Monroe, Washington. Let's introduce you to our drivers. Kicking things off, coming to us from Florida. She knows how to drive in the wet. Say hello to Kelsey Rawlings. Moving on down the line, our current points leader is a friend of the devil. He's a friend of mine, the AHA BMW from Colorado. It is our current points leader, Josh Love. All right, just saw this gentleman on the podium as well in St. Louis, just at LS Fest. Say hello to Cash Racing's own Jonathan Hurst. Next up, he is more human than human from Nashville, Tennessee. It is Human Rahimi. Coming on down the line in that Cora Works BMW, it is Nick Novak. The teal, black, and white S chassis, it is Austin Mata. All right, coming to us from the East Coast, he did battle with Mike Power and took him out. It is Ricky Hoffman. All the way from Australia, he is in that Eurofighter Duralast BMW. It is Josh Robinson. Coming all the way from Switzerland in that another beautiful BMW. There are a lot in the field. It is Josh Reynolds. This is his home track. He lives less than an hour away from Snoqualmie, Washington. It is Chase Schmidt. This gentleman got a bye run in the first battle. He's going to be seeing Nick Novak. Is an all BMW battle. Can he take him out? It is Dmitry Bruschi. Coming to us all the way from Las Vegas, another CoroWorks vehicle. Say hello to Blake Olson. Piloting the Liqui-Moly S14 chassis, it is Brian Wadman. Next up, coming all the way from Southern California as well. Definitely a lot of dryer down in the IE, the Inland Empire. It is Holdfast, Micah Diaz. We have a late comer here, a late entry in that Easy Go. Surprisingly, he does have an LS under the hood. We'll see if he can get it out here on track. It is Dustin Miles. And last but definitely not least, in the box flare E30 BMW from Los Angeles, it is Andy Haitley. There are top 16 drivers, 15 cars, 1 go-kart. We'll see if Dustin can get his car together. Let's send it here at round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Ryan, thank you to the United States Air Force for their support of the Formula Drift Championship. Caught up with one of our technical sergeants earlier in the week, so let's wrap out. Here we go.
Now it's time to talk to an Air Force representative. We got Staff Sergeant Anderson here, and from what I understand, you're a car guy. I just got to ask you right at the gate. You got some hot rods yourself.
Oh, yes, sir, I do. I've got a garage full and not enough time to work on them.
Isn't that the case for everybody? But COVID times, all of those under construction vehicles are hopefully getting built. But talk about being built. Thank you for your service, and thank you to Air Force for being involved with the Formula Drift. But what is your role at the Air Force, or in the Air Force, better yet?
So I am an active duty recruiter. My job is to recruit people to join the Air Force based on their qualifications and what they want to do for the Air Force. A lot of times we talk about what the Air Force needs right now. We need a lot of cybersecurity, and we need a lot of vehicle maintenance jobs. Maintainer jobs in general are big, so what better way than Formula Drift get some of those gearheads in here.
I love that. Love that. That's awesome. Aim high. That's what it says behind me, and that's the motto of the United States Air Force. Where are you located at, and why did you join the Air Force?
We are located in Fairview Heights, Illinois, just up the road from Worldwide Technologies Raceway. I joined the Air Force 9 years ago, and I joined just to get out of my own little hometown, knew I needed to do something different. And over the years, Air Force has afforded me many great opportunities.
So you've traveled all over, or kind of, how long have you been in the Air Force now?
So 9 years, and I've been on multiple deployments. I've done some other types of stuff across the continental United States. So a lot of different things that the Air Force does. So I have been everywhere, man, just like John Cash said.
Yeah, no, it's great. And from what I understand, man, you've been a Formula Drift fan since day one, and you even have a Fox body, so you know who Vaughn Gittin Jr. is, and a former driver, Tony Angelo, and former judge.
Oh, love those guys. I remember back when I was in high school, 15, 16 years old, watching the East Coast drift scene, Formula Drift in its infancy, Vaughn Gittin in his Mustang, Tony Angelo doing his thing. FD is just a great sport that really connects to its fan base, and it makes it really accessible for the fans to get to know the stars. And that's why we love partnering with you guys so much.
Love it. So it's a personal joy that gets satisfied because you're a petrol head. So we appreciate that. Like I said, appreciate your service. For anybody looking for some enlisting and recruiting and getting involved with the Air Force, talk to Staff Sergeant Anderson, right?
Yes, sir. We are located in Fairview Heights, Illinois. You can find us on the internet, google.com, find your nearest Air Force recruiter, and we're here to help you, even in COVID times.
Already going. Thank you so much again for your involvement and the Air Force involvement. As I said, find your local recruiter.
All right, welcome back. You can see the water accumulating here, Ryan. It really came down during the break. That's the heaviest rain I've seen, and hopefully it purged, and we're done.
Yeah, the halftime or the shortened halftime couldn't have come at a better time, because literally maybe 5 minutes after we went offline after the last battle in the top 32, a deluge of rain came down. Yeah,
that's a big word of the day. I'm out. I'm out of here. All right, I'm head out. No, so a deluge. What is that? Just a lot of water?
A lot of water came down, and it definitely areas where there can be standing water on this track. There has been some accumulation of standing water. Our team is working to get it off, as well as the track staff here at Evergreen Speedway. But as you can see, there's still a significant amount of rain coming down, so we are going to have wet conditions for the top 16. Looking at the radar, it does look like there may be some breakups here and there, but this is going to be one of the most challenging full top 16s, probably of the season that I could expect, just because this track had an incredible amount of grip put down on it yesterday in the last practice session. We already know that it was slippery enough when it was mildly wet. Now it's really going to get wet and test, you know, the prowess and the skill set of this Pro 2 class of 2020.
Yeah, what's kind of your sense of tires, of setup? What's going on? You know, what have you seen? Because yesterday I was not here, but in practice it seemed that they saw all the conditions, like you said, from really wet to mildly wet to dry, and then even earlier today.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get a look at what we saw during the top 32 for people just capturing us coming into the broadcast now. This is when it was actually in decent condition, because it hadn't been raining since early in the morning. And we did see, you know, some craziness going on there between drivers. This is Arrieta and Reynolds in the top 32. Now the track is much, much different. Josh Robinson was able to get through a really tough and strong Daniel Stuckey, who's I expect to be a contender this year, but that top 32 knockout is certainly going to hurt with only a 4-round championship.
Yeah, and then here we go. We saw Power earlier today get taken out by that was of Ricky Hoffman. Ricky Hoffman taking out Power. Power, you saw, just pushed a little too hard. I know he lost it on the first run. And then you got Dustin Miles and Steve Misko. Misko, he was that late entry, and then you saw him hit the wall and then go off of course. So a really unfortunate turn of events there for Misko. So Dustin Miles will advance on, but as we saw jokingly in that driver intro, his vehicle not here. Obviously he will not compete in a golf cart, but just want to make his showing here for the driver introduction. So round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. You can see Blake Olson will go against Chase Schmidt, our local hometown boy. We got Wadman versus Kelsey Rawlings, Jonathan Hurst versus Josh Reynolds. Then you got Josh Love versus Josh Robinson, which I think that'll be a really interesting battle, as Josh Love is our current points leader. Then on the other side of the bracket, Dimitri Bruschi versus Nick Novak. Micah Diaz and Andy Haley, they've been waiting in the wings. They haven't driven or competed yet in these less than ideal conditions, so I really want to see how those two Southern California boys are going to handle the wet. They know how to drive on smaller tracks and some bigger tracks, but I don't know if as wet as these tracks. And then Austin Mata and Ricky Hoffman. You saw Austin Mata not just yet, but you did see Ricky Hoffman go against Power. And then finally Human Rahimi, who you have not seen here this weekend yet because he had his bye run. And then Dustin Miles, as we saw there, he's going to be going against Steve Misko. Now, Ryan, interesting turn of events. All the rain, it accumulates, it puddles up. We got puddles. We got to clear the track.
Yeah, we were just alerted that, and this has happened in the past, actually, before we've come to this event. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there's a patch where it kind of goes down in elevation a little bit right after outside zone number 3, so through the power alley. And the water is seeping through the K-rail from the holes on the forklift holes coming onto the track, and it's about 2 or 3 inches deep. So the race director and our race control and our competition director, Kevin Wells, want to pump that out and get that out, because it isn't an area where if drivers got into it, they definitely would not be able to maintain momentum through that area. So I think they are going to put us on a slight rain delay here If you look at the graphic there, outside zone 3, just slightly past that, right before inside clip 1 on that map is where some water is starting to seep out onto the track in more than a way that would be typical for drivers to, be competing
It's a larger puddle that will absolutely affect the direction of the vehicle.
A nice lake.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So as we're gonna clear that up. So we do have some time here, but wanted to jump into the top 16, but the rain rearing its ugly head, unfortunately, and that's unfortunate turn event. So yeah, you could see that. I mean, you could see the reflection from BC Racing all the way to the Type S banners. That is a large amount of water, and that is right in the flow of the run.
Yeah, I think you pointed it out exactly right. It actually starts at BC Racing, and now it's starting to go towards the latter parts of that third outside zone. And as it accumulates, we do have the ability. We have water pumps. We can start pumping that out, but it will take some time. So I think what they're going to do, and that's a really great shot of it there. You can see that it's come out probably, 10 feet since the time that we've actually started to come back. There it is. There's a really good shot of it from halftime. So I have to imagine that they are going to want to pump this out. We do want to get a competition that's going to be as fair for everybody, but as safe for everybody as possible. We're certainly willing to deal with inclement weather. A lot of times when you come, to tracks like this, you have these areas in the surface. I can remember, Jared, a couple of years back in Long Beach with the variable surface there from cement to asphalt. Really, really challenging for the drivers, and there was really no standing water there. It was just basically no grip. In this case, we have standing water, and maybe going back to 2005 or 2006, we tried to do that at Wall Speedway. I think
Made for some epic photos.
I think I can remember Robbie Nishida in particular driving his 350Z and trying to make it through, 3-4 inches of standing water. But
I think that was Eric O'Sullivan too back in the day.
I think you're right. Yeah. That's a good memory.
Yeah, not always, but it comes back sometimes. Yeah, Eric O'Sullivan, EOS back in the day, old Irish drifter, and he was in a Subaru, if I can recall the photos. So, yeah. You know what? So, as we're going to be trying to clear up the track, we got a rain delay right now. You're watching round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. We'll take a look back at St. Louis. Thank you for your patience. Again, 2020, it is definitely a year for the books.
Josh Love and Jonathan Hurst going back and forth. A one more time battle. Hurst looked like he had the advantage. The chase run was on point, but Josh Love, as he has had throughout the majority of this competition, the consistency and the tenacity to find a way to win. And right there, that transition, avoiding contact, was an example of the car control needed to force that one more time after that very dominant chase run by Jonathan Hurst. In the second battle, Jonathan had a few mistakes, and Josh Love capitalized on it. He was able to have an incredible lead run, as you see here. Hurst pushing very hard, and it did cost him as he gets choked up on this inside clip here. And Josh Love is able to move forward to the end position, getting a unanimous victory here in St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And there it is, the final turn coming out of outside zone 4. As we take a look at these successive one more time battles that put these two finishers onto the podium, with Josh Love coming out on top. Jonathan Hurst, a great weekend for him, showed a tremendous amount of heart coming through this weekend, and the improvement from 2019 has just been phenomenal for him. He looks like a completely different driver as these drivers really got used to this track, laying down incredible plumes of smoke that were almost impossible to see through. And we saw a lot of drivers get lost in the mix. But at the end of the day, Josh Love and Jonathan Hurst standing atop the podium with Austin Mata, some brand new faces that we will get used to seeing throughout the 2020 season.
body is a machine with 800 horses coursing through its veins. Ignited. Synergy, human horsepower.
You know what's better than changing your oil with Royal Purple? Changing your oil with Royal Purple and not getting your hands dirty. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you buy 5 quarts of Royal Purple motor oil, you will get a free box of Royal Purple nitrile gloves after a mail-in rebate. That's a $20 value. These gloves are awesome. I use them all the time around the shop or when I'm working on any one of my cars. And the best part is they're swipeable, so you can use your phone too. You know you gotta change your oil. This Royal Purple glove offer is available through September 29th only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
We're pumped to let you know about the Ford Performance Drift and Dirt Sweepstakes, where you can win your choice of a brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty Tremor, which is ready for work or outdoor adventure at any time.
Or a 480 horsepower, track-ready 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1.
All you have to do is head to driftandirt.com for your chance to win.
What up? Boss man right here.
Yo!
And then on the chase run, just did exactly what we needed to do, and it was solid. Oh yeah. What you got? Coming over here. You missed Federico's lunch. He made us pasta and stuff and brought it over.
It was pretty good.
Get that out of the way on Thursday, right? Feeling good, made some setup changes to the car. Really happy with where we're at, and now I'm trying to enjoy some lunch, but some guy's got a camera in my face and whatnot, so.
Give me a heads up on what's happening.
Oh, so we're about to go out for a second practice session on Thursday. A couple little changes in the car, but nothing serious. Trying to run the same car all weekend and dial in the actual driving aspect of it instead of chasing setup. Getting some tires bled down and prepped. The team has the car ready to go, and I'm just gonna go in and rip some laps. I just sent it right there. Did you get my message saying?
No.
Oh, I said might be worth waiting to shoot the speed at next session. Oh, you got that? Wait, under a new thing. I'm only doing 3 laps though, right?
He's a poor guy, so he probably needs
Oh, okay. You gave me power already? Ooh. Ray's got the, yeah, go ahead. I'll wait. Ray's got the strength. Ray's got the power. always come off and pedal it after, but you got to get that initial. And plus, you got to get in it because of the nitrous, because the car has way more grip, and unless you get in it, you don't get the nitrous.
God, that really makes sense.
Yeah. So you just need the hit, the spray, to get it up on the pipe.
Right.
And then after that, it's cool.
That makes sense too.
Yeah. No, the smoke was pouring off the front tires because I was full understeer, full throttle, full wall ride for half the bank. Like, like on the sections of concrete. I'm like, please drive off anytime now. Like, and then finally it was like, I just went and caught it and kept driving. It was ugly, but it was like the save of a lifetime. That's the one this weekend. Yeah. Get that out of the way. We did everything from basically crashing to chasing cars super close to making some mistakes and nailing some really, really good runs. So moving into tomorrow, I think we got the car set up really well, and tonight we take the crew, go do some karting, have some fun, blow off some steam, and hopefully we come back in one piece. 39, 34. Who got? Oh, Vaughn. So Vaughn and Jane. So you got a ripper. 39. All right, so we just got done karting. We had a blast out there. It was like 9 or 10 of us, FD drivers and teams, trying to have some fun before the weekend starts. Practice went well today, and we came out here and had a blast. I mean, this is almost equally as fun as Formula D because we pay to destroy these things and have a blast. So I think half the people on here either broke or crashed and got back in the car and finished the run. So had a blast, and time to go back and get some sleep for tomorrow. See you guys. Went out for our first practice run, solid. The conditions are a little bit unknown at this point, so we were kind of giving it a safe bet, giving Essa about a car and a half or 2 cars, and just simulating the run like if I was up close. It's definitely slicker out there, but it still offers a good amount of grip, so we were able to put the power down in a few spots. Essa was a little bit off on line, but we definitely figured it out. So we just finished up our Friday here at FD Orlando. Really stoked at how the day went. 96 from the first run, 97 on the second. Qualified 6th overall, which puts us against Taylor Hull in top 32 tomorrow. Team's stoked, everyone's very, very excited, and hopefully we can finish this one on top. All right, so we made it into the show, top 16. We had a battle with Taylor Hull. So yeah, it looks like he zeroed out behind me in the chase. I don't know how close he was, or it was because of how I was driving the car, but that mistake definitely gave us the win.
Well, for Chelsea DeNova, he is moving on, and I asked him any changes from Long Beach to Orlando, and you said there's a few changes, right?
Yeah, just some alignment stuff and a little bit of chassis adjustments. We have just a slick bit more power, not much, like maybe 25 or 30 horsepower, but just because we need it for the bank, we're not trying to make a ton and not have a tire for 2 laps. So it's a balance of everything, and I think the team's doing a fantastic job this weekend. Everybody's doing great. Vaughn and I are going to end up on the podiums for sure because we're killing it. So I'm pretty stoked on that.
Well, I hope that comes through.
Almost.
Oh, I killed.
You were on the closer.
Damn it!
So close. I mean, it took 2 tries, but we definitely got it the second time. The first time, I definitely could see the one more time. I was at like a level 8 of aggressiveness out of 10. I just was trying to get through and make sure we had a good, clean run without smashing into them or hitting them. But when they call the one more time out, I'm ready to party. So I made sure I buried it in his door, especially going around the last turn and just putting the best run together that I could. And then my lead run felt super solid. It was everything it needed to be. And yeah, just overall, I mean, I'm ready to go all the way to the podium here.
I was only watching him getting away, but still it was great pleasure, great driving from Chelsea. Congratulations to him and for his whole team, because today the guys are ripping really this track. So fingers crossed for them and all the best.
I'm super stoked. We're both from the same town, Doylestown, and we actually have the same birthday. Super cool, and we've driven together a lot. We have a pretty good win and lose record together, so it'll definitely be a good battle. And yeah, I'm just overall stoked to drive with everybody who's driving clean and to win. We literally lost because I just nicked somebody's back tire on entry. Like, that was the deciding factor. We had Chris big time on the lead run, and all we had to do was put a decent follow down, and I misjudged the entry just a little bit. I was thinking he was going to pick up the throttle earlier, and he didn't. But his run was still a good lead run. I gave him the bump, broke a tie rod, got into the wall. The rest of the weekend, I mean, it was just overall awesome weekend. Cars are alive and awesome, and in Atlanta, we're going to be absolutely murdering it.
Chelsea
Energy, human horsepower.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you spend $45 on Royal Purple products, like I just did for my oil change, Royal Purple will send you $10 back. Here's how easy it is. Head to your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up any combination of Royal Purple products that get you to $45. Also good at O'Reilly.com. Make sure you take your receipt, snap a photo of it, then go to RoyalPurplePromos.com and simply upload your receipt image. It's so easy. Then all you have to do is go to the mailbox and find your $10 rebate check.
quality of Japanese craftsmanship. Brid.
What is power and control? Power is the sprint. Control is the hurdle. Power is the flame. Control is the perfect steak. Power is turbulence. Control is containment. Power is the ignition. Control is the sensor. NGK and NTK. Power under control.
The Falcon Azenis FK510 tire is engineered for today's high-performance vehicles. Built with added tread rigidity for precise handling and an advanced rubber compound that inspires confidence, rain or shine. Get more out of your sports coupe or sedan with the Azenis FK510.
Guys, I'm Ryan Literal, pilot of the Power Stop Brakes GT Radial 350Z. We're out here at St. Louis for the first round of the 2020 Formula Drift season, and we are feeling amazing. Team's feeling good. It feels good to be back, reunited with everybody out here. Yeah, we're happy to be here, and thank you to Formula Drift for pulling everything together and making it all happen.
Crazy day out here in St. Louis. It's been almost a year since we were on track for the 2019 finals, and for FD to actually pull this off, it's a major feat and not a given in this climate. And you know, for us and the team to come out with a new car and show to the world that we had what it took to take the win here. I mean, I can't thank Steph and the boys enough. We won today. We're leading the championship, but we have a tough day tomorrow and 3 more weekends. Let's give it all we've got and make it one hell of a season.
Welcome back to St. Louis here at Worldwide Technologies Raceway. We are here for round 2. Yesterday, we saw a Toyota 1 and 2. Frederick Osborne, a brand new vehicle, grabs the top spot. Ryan Turk, brand new vehicle for him. Frederick Osborne's old vehicle gets second, and Odie Bakshi's grabs that third spot. Round 2, how's it going to unfold? Man, I'm out of breath. I'm excited. Are you? Whew, let's go. Send it.
Yes, this weekend was awesome. Unfortunately, our first round was not ideal. I made some mistakes in the chase. I kind of wasn't in the right mindset, but overall, it was a great stepping stone to what not to do today. And we did basically the opposite, change the attitude towards everything, worked with the team to stay focused throughout the rest of the event, and we ended up on top. The battles were awesome. Started off just some tight battles. Everything was good. We were having some patience with some guys. We had a good battle with Forsberg. It was super tight. I had to drive a lead run that I was uncomfortable, but driving like a maniac just to recoup some of the mistakes I made in my chase run. We got it one more time, and we were able to come out on top of that. And yeah, just battling Matt Field, who's a super close homie of mine, just having to hold back a little bit to have some patience, knowing that he was going to be right there on our door pushing us, and he was. And he actually pushed so hard, he made a couple small mistakes. So we ended up getting the win. It was nice to be able to push really, really hard in the lead runs and then be a little focused and turn down just a little bit in the chase runs. And then our battle with Odie at the end was really heads up. I got a little bump when I was on my lead run. It was kind of pushed me wide just a tick. I mean, it was just, the bump was like the slightest tap in the back, but it was enough to kind of push me off at outer one. But I was able to save it and fix the rest of the run, and he made a huge mistake in the chase going into the last turn. So we ended up for the win. Super pumped, got to stand on top of the podium. Had a little bit too big of a jump off the fence. Probably broke one of my heels and bruised the other one, but it's okay. I had to have some patience throughout the weekend, and I lost my patience when I jumped off the fence like a maniac. But I think we'll be good. I'm gonna go put my feet on ice and start planning for the next round.
Better than changing your oil with Royal Purple? Changing your oil with Royal Purple and not getting your hands dirty. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you buy 5 quarts of Royal Purple motor oil, you will get a free box of Royal Purple nitrile gloves after a mail-in rebate. That's a $20 value. These gloves are awesome. I use them all the time around the shop or when I'm working on any one of my cars. And the best part is they're swipeable, so you can use your phone too. You know you gotta change your oil. This Royal Purple glove offer is available through September 29th only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
To let you know about the Ford Performance Drift and Dirt Sweepstakes, where you can win your choice of a brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty Tremor, which is ready for work or outdoor adventure at any time.
Or a 480 horsepower, track-ready 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1.
All you have to do is head to driftanddirt.com for your chance to win.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Link ECU. Link Engine Management, the official ECU of Formula Drift. Achilles Tires, tires you can trust. And Ford.
Hey guys, Dylan Hughes here, driver of the Royal Purple Achilles Radial BMW E46. So this is an all-new car for us this year. I built this over the off season, and I basically bought this car after Formula Drift Texas last year and started going ham on it the entire off season. It took us about 7 months to build it. So a completely different chassis from last year. I really fell in love with the BMW E46 chassis, so this is what we came up with. A little bit different power plant for us. This is a 3-liter 2JZ, so a lot of really awesome companies stepped up to help us out with this thing. We have Brian Crower rods, JE pistons, Brian Crower cam, SuperTech valve train. We have a turbo by Garrett G35 1050, Hypertune intake manifold, Dock Race exhaust manifold, Turbo Smart wastegate. So yeah, steal it. So this thing basically, it went all the way down to a bare shell, did all the fab work myself. Every single weld on this thing was done by me. I did all the work to it, me and my father did. And we sandblasted it down to a raw shell, and then we painted the whole thing with Steelite coatings. Now this is what we get. So really proud of it, and yeah, catch you guys later. Better than changing your oil with Royal Purple? Changing your oil with Royal Purple and not getting your hands dirty. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you buy 5 quarts of Royal Purple motor oil, you will get a free box of Royal Purple nitrile gloves after a mail-in rebate. That's a $20 value. These gloves are awesome. I use them all the time around the shop or when I'm working on any one of my cars. And the best part is they're swipeable, so you can use your phone too. You know you gotta change your oil. This Royal Purple glove offer is available through September 29th only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sweet
to let you know about the Ford Performance Drift and Dirt Sweepstakes, where you can win your choice of a brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty Tremor, which is ready for work or outdoor adventure at any time.
Or a 480 horsepower, track-ready 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1.
All you have to do is head to driftanddirt.com for your chance to win.
Oh, man, thank you so much for your patience. Even if you weren't impatient, we still appreciate you hanging in there because the rain delay is over. We have dug a trench on the backside. We're pumping it out. We're trying to do everything we can to mediate this water. Ryan, a little bit of delay, no big deal. Guess what? You know what? Just, again, chalk it up to 2020.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we do drift in the rain, we do drift in the wet, but when you get a lake, it's a little bit more challenging. And we got some further information about what transpired there. One of the drains behind our K-rail and our fencing there basically overflowed. And as we watch some of the highlights, you'll see right about here, it started coming out and got about 6 inches deep in that area right there. So that was gonna be really tough. But the drivers in the top 32 performed relatively well given these conditions, even though we did see some good wrecks and we saw a little bit of shakiness as drivers were getting used to the setup. As it was getting more variable, we did start to see little puffs of smoke here and there as the track was starting to dry out. But we did see a big upset here. Josh Robinson, and not so much a big upset in terms of name power. Both drivers are championship contenders, and that's the upset part. Daniel Stuke going out in the top 32, and as we mentioned, in a 4-round championship, that is going to be a tough break for him.
Yeah, Ricky Hoffman here, he gets the win. He is in that chase position against Power. We talked about this earlier. And then finally, we will be seeing Human Rahimi going against Dustin Miles as we saw Steve Misko go hard on the wall and then insult to injury. Tries to straighten out and goes in and does his own landscaping here. It looks like he's going to disperse the water and take it onto himself. Here we go. So there you can see the top 16, Blake Olson versus Chase Schmidt, Ryan Wadman versus Kelsey Rawlings, Jonathan Hurst versus Josh Reynolds, Love versus Robinson, Dimitri Brutsky versus Nick Novak, Micah Diaz and Andy Haley, both from Southern California, Austin Mata from Ricky Hoffman, Austin Mata going against Ricky Hoffman, and then finally Human Rahimi versus Dustin Miles. That is the top 16. Ideally, the track stays clear of any other moisture, and I think we're ready to attack. But first, we got to get that Sunbelt Rentals out of the way there. Ryan, as we are getting prepared, this is round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. And here are the standings, the current standings coming into this round of competition. Josh Love takes it up top. Jonathan Hurst there in second, that Cash Racing G37. Austin Mata there in third. And then we see Brutsky, Olson rounding out the top 5. A lot of BMWs, man. I mean, what is it? Because Love's in a BMW, Mata, like, holy cow. Like, I think we counted 9 in the top 16 overall.
Yeah, very popular chassis. We've seen a resurgence of many different models of BMW coming in the mix now and becoming a go-to for a lot of these drivers. But now we'll find ourselves starting to get things back underway here in the top 16 after a somewhat wet opening ceremonies leading to a slight rain delay. Looks like we're now ready to do action. And Jared, I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to show a different side, and we may see this also come to fruition in the pro class tomorrow as well, as there is a distinct difference between drivers that really have a specialization in wet conditions. We saw that a lot with the Europeans and Frederick Osbo. Tanner Faust back in the day. A lot of the rally guys seem to be really acclimated
Sam
to
was
that
always
kind of
good.
weather.
Humanette was always good in the rain. And obviously we can't deny James Dean. He's not joining us here this year, but James was always a surgeon in the water.
Yeah, and that is definitely something you want to pay attention to. I know up here it does get wet from time to time, so we may see some of the local flavor really perform well here on this track, and also the local knowledge is extremely important.
Yeah, so you speak of local knowledge. I think the big one to watch is that of Chase Schmidt. Chase Schmidt, he's from 40. He's staying at his house. That tells you how close he is to the track,
which is pretty fun.
Which is pretty rad. So just to have his crew out here, he knows this track. He's from Snoqualmie. That's where him and both Dylan Hughes are from. So so those guys are great friends, and they would love to cheer on their local boy here. But he's going to have to get through Blake Olson, a great looking vehicle. Always loved Blake Olson's rides. He used to have an FC that I always loved, and now he's built this BMW now in conjunction and with help from Coro Works. So Blake Olson enters the picture. He drew the #1 card, so he had a bye run in 32. This is his first go at this track. So our first matchup, but I believe we're going to be doing sight laps. So Blake Olson, there you see the stats, and Chase Schmidt about the same age, a little more horsepower is what Blake Olson is claiming. So we'll see Vegas versus Snoqualmie, BMW versus BMW. But yeah, the Royal Purple top 16. Everybody running the Achilles tires in Pro 2. Let's see what we got. So we got definitely a newer body style of Blake, and then the E36 of Chase Schmidt. Chase Schmidt actually works on Dylan. So Chase has got a busy weekend. Yeah, I know Dylan's kind of doing double duty too. He's cheering on Chase's boy, but Chase is going to hang up his helmet and his suit because he's going to jump on board and help out Dylan Hughes. So still clearing the track of all the safety officials, and then we will continue with a sight lap.
Michael, tell them to get off the track. I'm about to send cars out for a sight lap, and they can't be up.
All right. These guys are, again, patiently waiting. Make sure we get them off course, and we'll be good to send.
Copy that. Trey, can you send one zip in that, and I can send the sight lap through, and you can go out after.
We're going to see the next pair lining up in the back.
Copy that. Thanks, Trey.
Looks like that is Kelsey Rawlings versus Wadman.
Hold. Flag two, run out there. What are they doing?
What are you doing? All right, here we go. Blake Olson. Again, this is just a sight lap. This is them getting familiar with the course, seeing the conditions, especially somebody like Blake, Ryan, because they haven't seen the course. They haven't seen competition, haven't seen a battle. So this is a good opportunity to get familiar with the tarmac.
Yeah, for sure. And this will probably only be done for top 16 because the surface has changed from top 32. If it stays like this, or even if it gets more wet, once we get into the grade 8 and beyond, it'll basically be the conditions as they are presented, because drivers at least will have some level of acclimation to the conditions that are out there now. So this will be their sight lap. They'll go back, and then we'll kick off the first battle here in the top 16.
First battle, 16, baby. Let's go. Let's send it. Come on. A lot of delays going on, but no big deal. We're ready to party. Bay Olson here, that Cora Works BMW. Chase Schmidt, Kansai wheels, wraps, and Achilles tires. Like I said, Chase is definitely one to watch. Blake Olson, being from Las Vegas, you know, when it rains, it pours in Las Vegas, but usually you just park and wait for about an hour or a day, and it's over out there. What's that song? Like the deserts miss the rain.
Like the deserts miss the rain.
And I miss you. There you go. Little karaoke. Formula Drift karaoke, bro.
You haven't done much singing this.
No, I haven't.
This year yet.
I mean, do you want more?
Well,
your reservation speaks volumes, Ryan.
You know, your singing usually comes out when you have a level of happiness.
Yeah.
It usually has to do with like really fun competition,
Totally.
all that. So when that inspiration
Plays
comes
off
about, then go ahead.
Okay. All right. If you're feeling inspired, like a mood ring.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. So did you hear that, Ryan Lontaine? The boss said I can sing if I feel joy in my heart. So yeah, I appreciate that. Don't go breaking my heart. You know what I mean? All right, Chase Schmidt. Don't know what he's doing back there, but we need you up here, kiddo. Oh man, Chase. Maybe a little nerves. You got to think that nerves here. I mean, oh, that's what it is. Home track. He's got family. He's got friends. No pressure. No pressure at all, Chase. Living up to your name. You're Chase Schmidt, and you're the Chase car. Blake Olson currently 5th in the standings. Looks like Chase is icing Blake. We're talking about the pressure here.
Well, Chase right now is sitting in 16th place, Jared. So he's got a ways to go to get into that top 8. But a win here against a top 5 competitor certainly would put him on the right path.
Here we go. All right. There we go. Windshield wipers are on. You know, you got to figure the spritz. These guys are riding jet skis out here. Them water bikes. Here we go. And boom, we officially are beginning our first battle of top 16, the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Let's see if you get some singing out of this heart here. Here we go. Blake Olson, fired up. Throws it in like twisted teeth. Oh, man. Looks like the wall claps back at Blake. Good angle, stays in it. Chase Schmidt, he's very familiar with this track. Let's see if he can drop down into that power alley. Blake hits that. Oh, looks like he takes 2 wheels off of the outer zone. He does salvage that. Really surprised that he spun back. Might have thought he would have rotated. And Blake taking that wide angle, that wide line around that front clip and into that last outer zone. Blake goes there. So, Ryan, this should be pretty interesting as far as how to judge. They were all over the place. Let's take a look at it again here.
Well, we know that outside zone 2 can certainly be challenging, especially for the lead driver. And there's that first wall tap that we see from Blake Olson, trying to get it in line here. Now he does a pretty good job, but you can see really moving around in the chase position is Chase Schmidt. Now here's where we're going to see Blake go off course, nearly 3 tires. Luckily, Chase makes a good move there and doesn't follow him off that deep, but he loses a little bit of proximity. You can see really down on the angle as well. Not fully in chase, not attacking as much as you'd like to see, and then just barely scrubbing the inside portion of that final outside zone is Blake Olson. Let's take a look at it from this angle here. You can see he gets the rear 2 just right in the middle, and a little bit on the inside there is Chase Schmidt. So now we'll have an opportunity to change things up here as Chase Schmidt will go to the lead.
You know, I think Chase was really thrown off by Blake's line there. You saw him hit the wall. He's not, if Blake goes in and that car gets sucked up, Chase did have good proximity. He had to back off a little bit, and I think he took some angle out of the vehicle to gain some ground right before they went down to the power alley. And then you saw Blake go off course, so that throws Chase off, and with that wide swing on Blake. So it's obviously going to come down to the second run, but I'd like to see them a little tidier with both their lead and their chase. So you can see track safety picking up some debris.
Yeah, I just want to underline that point because we did start to see a little bit of a trend from the judges last round, and it comes from the emphasis that they've been making on the lead driver responsibilities. We have seen some calls in St. Louis where, you know, some of the behavior of the vehicle in the chase is oftentimes, if that person is within proximity, is often being dictated by the lead and the mistakes or the lack of mistakes that driver is making. And so we saw a couple of calls that really banged the lead driver and when the chase driver was in proximity for making those mistakes that may have been a causal chain of events that affect the chase driver. So I certainly agree with you there that's been consistent with the judges so far. And we'll see how this plays, or how that plays, as now we go to the second part of this battle.
Yeah, usually right now, you know, the drivers are getting a little bit nervous. Their tires cooling down, and obviously they do cool down, but especially in the wet, not such an issue here. Guys might be running a set of tires through the whole competition if you take it all the way to the top. All right, here we go. Chase out front. Now Chase is lead, and Blake is Chase. Chase Schmidt throwing it down. Look at that consistent, good angle all the way through the bank. I'd like to see Blake gain some ground, but he does maintain the angle. Let's see how they handle it into the power alley. On the stats, the numbers said that Blake had a little more horsepower, maybe flexing a little bit. Now into that third outer zone. Chase with definitely a more proper line. Like I said, this is his home track. Good flick, aggressive flick. Let's see if he can bring it all the way out to the wall. Does not get all the way out there, but I'll tell you what, it was definitely much more of a tidy run. You ask and he shall receive, Ryan.
Well, Chase Schmidt this time around in his lead run, especially on the big bank, seemed to have more consistency, and we know the weighting for that area can certainly play a role. I think you're right that he missed a couple key sectors of the power alley and the final outside zone, but let's take a look to see how Blake Olson adapted. He kind of stayed back a ways. Now you can see that Schmidt is nice and high on the bank, and notice the kind of locked in angle and line. There's not a lot of moving around. We did see that from him in the chase, whereas you can see Blake Olson is not really fidgeting around in the chase position, but he is lacking proximity. There was a little tiny movement in the vehicle. Here they are coming through the center section of the bank. Kind of gives you a good idea of how close he is to the wall there, just maybe about 8 to 10 inches off the wall. Now coming through the power alley, you see that he missed that, Schmidt missed that outside zone 2, wasn't completely out to outside zone 3. Drawing a pretty decent line here. He gets that inside clip, good angle there, nice snap back around. But at this point, Blake Olson is starting to nose in a little bit here, try to close the door And with Schmidt not getting all the way out to outside zone 4, he left a little bit on the table there for the judges to kind of pick apart.
Line angle style, right? I mean, lead versus lead, chase versus chase. Just, I really wasn't happy with either of the lead or the chase on that first battle. I think coming down to this, you know, just cleanliness, tidiness, you know, that X factor, given the conditions. You know, we'll see as judges are analyzing, taking a look at the replay. And you can see there in the car with Chase. I know there's a lot of Chase Schmidt fans cheering him on, and Blake back there in the Southwest. Let's see if which way we're going, which way we're leaning.
I know those scores are in, so you have an intuition here?
I'm going to say Chase. I think Chase, I liked how tidy he was. I like Blake a lot. I think he's a fun-loving dude. Just, I did not like his lead run. It was just a little sloppy. Chase showed that he knows the tracks. He has the proper line. It was just cleaner. You know, overall, I think Chase. Do you agree?
I think you could definitely make the case that the attribution of some of the Chase mistakes for Chase,
no pun intended,
was because of Blake and his lead run.
Yeah.
We'll see if the
there
judges
you go.
agree. Wow.
So Chase Schmidt does get the win, and it was not unanimous. Who was that? Who was that? Chris? Was that you? The one more time? Eggert? Okay, so Chris is up top. The new guy gets the top spot? Wow, okay. Wow, weird flex, but okay. Okay, all right. I've seen my first rodeo. All right, know your role, Chris. So Brian Eggert saying one more time, it was not unanimous, but the hometown homeboy gets the win and moves on. Here we go, Brian Wadman, Kelsey Rawlings, and you can see the stats here, number versus number, Nissan versus Nissan, and yeah, what do you got?
This is a really interesting battle here, Jared, because Brian Wadman and Kelsey Rawlings are basically neck and neck in terms of their ranking coming out of St. Louis. Brian Wadman is in 8th place. Kelsey Rawlings is in 9th. So this is really, if you were at the end of the season right here, this would be a battle for a pro license, essentially. So
I like that.
Very important here. You know, 50% of the season for Pro 2 will be done after this round.
Jeez.
And it'll certainly add up really quickly. So getting into the top 16, let's kick this off here with Brian Wadman and Kelsey Rawlings.
All right, Wadman, Rawlings. You could see Wadman will be leading. It's funny how we paired up BMW versus BMW, and now the Nissan. Who is going against hometown homeboy Chase Schmidt? Will it be Wadman or Rawlings? Clear start. You can see a slow drip, literally off the start line. Kelsey keeping pace. Wadman now hammers down. Wadman, massive angle. Oh, man.
Hold it.
Wow, look at that. Holds on to that angle. Oh, buddy.
You could see that starting to happen.
Everybody's like, oh, man. I mean, yeah, I was baffled that he held on to it as long as he did.
We're definitely going to want to get Ryan Lantain in here because it was contact. There will need to be fault given. And before we bring Ryan in, at least my first intuition there is that it looked like Kelsey didn't really have anywhere to go. Wadman starts to angle up right around here, and it looks really, actually the wall helps him a little bit.
Yeah.
But now he's going to start kind of slowing down, and you can see the back end starting to spin out. Kelsey, even though she was on a much tighter lower line, I'm not sure she really had much of an option there, given the trajectory of where Wadman was coming off the line, right?
Yeah, he threw up a roadblock. Lantain going to you. What do you think?
Yeah, looking at what happened there, the lead car in that session, Wadman, you could see him tap the wall, and it might have reduced angle a little bit. So it looked like he was back on throttle trying to power the car back to angle, and he overdid it. You can see the back of the car slowly coming around too much, and he just had nowhere to go other than down the track as he was starting to spin. Kelsey is trying to make up that proximity, and as she's on throttle there, you could see that she maybe didn't anticipate the spin as much as she should or could have, and didn't slow down quite soon enough, and they made contact. So it's just, you know, in that situation, she's probably focusing on where she is on the track, how close she is to the wall, and, you know, maybe she took her eyes off of him for a split second, and then she just couldn't slow down quick enough.
Do I infer from that you're leaning towards Wadman being at fault, because obviously that's going to play into who gets to or who has to use a competition timeout versus who doesn't?
Absolutely, it'd be Wadman's fault in that case. As the lead driver, you're supposed to maintain drift throughout the course, and he did not. So you can see here, he does have quite a bit more angle than Kelsey does in the chase, and this is right there.
He was rotating.
Yeah, you can see it starting to slowly rotate, and I heard Brian say it, and I said it too. Oh, that's not going to be maintainable through the rest of the outside zone, and you could just see that over-rotation happening, and yeah, it's just an overzealous throttle foot, I would say, in that situation. It is very slippery out there. I'm sure the grip level varies from, mid-track to the top of that bank, the way the water's running off. It doesn't look, it's still raining, I think. I'm looking down at a puddle down there. But generally, that bank will dry off before the infield, and we saw that yesterday where there was smoke coming off the tires on the bank.
Yeah.
And as soon as they came into outside zone 2, people would be spinning and spinning and spinning because of the difference in grip. And I'm sure the difference in grip is still that way up there because the water doesn't pool. It just runs down that bank. So
would you say the water falls? So
the water does fall.
So don't go chasing those?
Don't chase those.
Yeah.
He's down on the apron right now. I think he chased it down a little too far.
Yeah, he chased it too hard.
Ryan, you spent a lot of time at Ebisu, and it rains there a lot. Is there a point of no return in a situation like that? I know there's no banks there, but like as a driver, what can you say about saving something like that versus you're just done?
Yeah, once you there's that feeling that you get in your stomach as you're just a little too far rotated. There's nothing you can do. You're along for the ride at that point. It's really, really hard. The only way that generally a car can fix that kind of spin is if you have all-wheel drive and, the front wheels start to pull you out of it. But in this situation, if you're at the limits of the steering angle of the front of your car, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
you can't go any further.
Your contact patch is nil.
Yeah, you're all the way gone, in terms of steering in the front end, and the rear end's already kind of swapping ends with the front. You're done. You just hold on and hope that you don't hit anything. And in this case, Kelsey was trying to get that proximity back. You could see she was on slightly lower line, and it ended up in some contact that is going to require some. It looks like some mechanical repairs there. It looked like her front left is pretty damaged. Now, I don't know. We can't see from the camera views here how bad his car is, but we don't assume that it's that great because there's a flatbed picking him up. So I assume he's also broken. Yep.
So we'll see what's going on here. But as you said, Wadman is at fault. So again, assess the damage. When we come back, the vehicles will be cleared and the track will be cleared. When we come back, more of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. We'll come back.
Energy, human horsepower.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you spend $45 on Royal Purple products, like I just did for my oil change, Royal Purple will send you $10 back. Here's how easy it is. Head to your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up any combination of Royal Purple products that get you to $45. Also good at O'Reilly.com. Make sure you take your receipt, snap a photo of it, then go to RoyalPurplePromos.com and simply upload your receipt image. It's so easy. Then all you have to do is go to the mailbox and find your $10 rebate check.
Formula Drift is brought to you by BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for gold. And by Falcon Tire. Oh, man, look at that. Looks like we might have cursed it here as we get more rain. You can see it coming down pretty strong there on Wadman's vehicle. We'll see if he did call his competition timeout. The 5-minute allotment will not begin until he gets back to his pit area, and Kelsey Rawlings will be allowed a sufficient amount of time to fix her vehicle. But that being 10 minutes essentially, we'll see how bad her damage is. But, oh, moisture's coming down. And these gentlemen will be getting their sight laps. So we're only halfway in the Wadman-Rawlings battle. Next up, we have Jonathan Hurst. Saw him warming up his tires. Got on the podium in St. Louis. And joining him, going against him, will be Josh Reynolds. A little sign of a good time there in the burnout box, the steam box. Yeah, the rain really coming down here.
Yep, getting another little spurt. It's interesting if you're here watching the clouds, kind of like how they move in. And literally maybe 2.5 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, it was kind of clear in that area, and then it slowly came in, and it's cloudy now for Jonathan Hurst and Josh Reynolds. Jared, obviously this is another big battle here. Jonathan Hurst having a tremendous event coming out of St. Louis, currently sitting in second place.
Yeah.
And the sight lap underway here.
Yeah, this is a sight lap here for Reynolds. And that's Hurst out front, that Cash Racing. Him and Hooman Rahimi teaming up this year, doing some engine development and basically being very resourceful as Hooman driving the Z and Jonathan Hurst driving the G37. They can actually share a lot of the parts, and obviously engine parts as well, since they're both running the LS. All right, we're seeing a lot of water quickly accumulate out here on track.
Reynolds looking to make up some ground here in the championship chase, sitting down towards the bottom of the pack here, and could be a giant killer here if he's able to take out Jonathan Hurst.
Very capable driver, very well-built cars. Again, these vehicles prepared in Switzerland and now being maintained by the Drift Cave, which is Matt Field's shop there in San Jose, California. All right, let's get him back up to the start line and back at it again.
This is sideways rain.
Yeah, it's definitely it's coming at us.
Not big fat rain.
No. What about upwards rain? When it hits
rain,
you in the face.
Rain that comes up from the ground.
Yep. Yeah. You're quoting a movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Big old fat rain.
Big old fat rain. That's what I thought you were, but just shrimp tacos. All right, here we go. As Jonathan Hurst will lead, Josh Reynolds giving chase. Clean start. Flirting with that wall there, Hurst. All right, this Cash Racing G37 throws it in. Oh boy, Reynolds getting squirrely. Man, look at Hurst going for it. Definitely drier conditions up top. Looks like he's found he's using those rubber gumballs at the top of the bank. Woo, we got the splash zone. Yes, sir. Oh man, Hurst flicks it around. Hurst a little bit wider as Reynolds brings it into that last outer zone. And Jonathan Hurst across the finish line hits the little hip there at the end. Ryan, not too shabby. Like I said, I mean, these Pro 2 drivers, they have definitely just progressed over the years, and this year it gets better and better.
Yeah, at the outset of Pro 2, I would have been a lot more worried about this rain, but it looks like Jonathan Hurst is using the wall kind of like a stabilizer. I think he's grabbing the wall right around here or getting very, very close to it, It does suck him in a little bit. He moves some angle up, but just notice how much of a deeper line he was running there than Reynolds. Reynolds, not too shabby though. He's keeping relative proximity. He kind of starts off on a midline here. You can see he was running a little bit less angle, and that just gives you an eye on the difference coming off of the big bank as they start getting into outside zone number 2. Now crossing over Hurst, he shies away from that outside zone, and you can see it cause him to go a little bit wide on the inside clip. Now trying to gain a little bit of ground here is Reynolds in this final corner, but Hurst does a pretty good job of going deep into that final outside zone. So he's laid down a pretty clean lead run. Obviously, he had that mistake where he lost a little bit of angle by tapping the wall, but I think that the judges are going to, obviously it's going to be a comparison between the lead run that Reynolds is going to be able to do, but I think the judges will reward some of that riskier behavior, all things considered. So now we will switch things up as Josh Reynolds now goes to the lead, and Jonathan Hurst will chase him down.
Yeah, here we go. Reynolds out front. The window is, the door is open. I have to assume just airing it out, man. You got, you get some steam, some condensation. You can't see, you got your racing lid, you got your windshield, and then the rain coming at you. So it's always good to, oh, looks like we got a restart. Josh jump. Okay, a big jump there by Reynolds. It is nice to have windows in the vehicle for, situations like this, but at the same time, it does keep the fog in there.
Yeah, and we did hear during the break that they were going to allow our staff members to rub the fog down inside to give them better visibility between runs if that becomes problematic. So you could kind of see
they're giving massages. They're rubbing their shoulders before they go out and run.
That didn't come out exactly the way that I intended it. But
I'm with it. I get it. Yeah. I get it. I'm down for the massage. Yeah, Sopa, get up here, rub my shoulders. Here we go, Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds and Jonathan Hurst. Woo, Reynolds throws it in. You can see he's got great angle, drops down a little bit. Reynolds, middle of the bank. Let's see how he comes into the power alley. Whoa, well done, man. A lot of water there as they come into that third outside zone. A ton of water powering through. Oh, it looked, honestly, I really want to watch that replay. It looked like Josh was almost coming to a halt there.
I think he was. And Hurst was an absolute beast in the chase from outside zone 2. How he didn't spin and still make that look clean in the transition is pretty close near a miracle. Let's take a look at this again. Reynolds obviously was really fast on the bank, but he's on a lower line relative to the lead run of Hurst. Hurst is trying to get up to angle here. He wants to keep some good proximity on him, but he's back about 2 car distances at this point. But you can still see he's on a lower line, so he's not really doing exactly what you want the lead driver to do, and that's going to be compared to Jonathan Hurst's lead run. Now as they come down off the bank into outside zone 2, take a look at this at the different approaches here. Reynolds does a great job on this outside zone. Big angle there from Hurst, and then he just clots it right on the inside, tucks up on the inside, and we're going to see a little bit of a stall there from Reynolds, and I think that's going to be the cause of what happened to Hurst. Up until that point, it was a great duel back and forth, and Ryan, if you want to come in here and give us a little insight on what transpired there, because obviously we did have some contact right at inside clip 1.
Yeah, it looked like Hurst had, like you said, a much higher line on outside zone 1. He was really, really looking strong in his lead run. And then looking at Reynolds, he was a lot lower on his lead run. He was almost a full lane, maybe more lower on outside zone 1 than Hurst was on his lead. So that's a big disadvantage there for Reynolds. Coming into the infield area, that power alley, Reynolds, it looked like he dropped a tire maybe in outside zone 2. And then what really is causing a little bit of concern for the judges is the decel that he did right at inside clip 1. Just before it there, you can see the car start to gain angle, and it looked like that was totally his fault, where Hurst wasn't diving in. He had good proximity, and he was really mimicking what Reynolds was doing up until that point. And then Reynolds either stalled up or over-rotated and lifted so he didn't spin. And I really personally think that was his fault. I'm really far away from the other judges, but we'll have to see how they decide on this one.
All right, so as Jonathan Hurst and Reynolds waiting for the verdict, Still waiting. And here we go. Slide them left for Hurst, right for Reynolds. And looks like Chris, Ryan, and Brian say Jonathan Hurst, the Cash Racing G37, gets the win. Unfortunately, Josh Reynolds knocked out. So a bummer for Reynolds. Great looking car. Definitely has talent. Just again, like Lantain said, a little bit lower than he'd like. A little bit of refinement. That's what we're looking for. So Jonathan Hurst moves on to the Great 8. He's going to be going against one of these gentlemen. And we saw Hurst and Love on the box, 1 and 2 in the finals in St. Louis. And here they are again. Josh Love. I know he's a deadhead. Let's see if he can crush it here. Being from Denver. Josh Robinson from Perth, Australia. Brand new vehicle for him. The Robo-Roo, the Your-Roo fighter. Tall drink of water there in that Duralast BMW. So as we are getting prepared for our next battle, Ryan, I know Robinson had a lot of fans with that Holden Ute, but him switching gears here and building that BMW. What do you think? Here he is going against our current points leader.
It's a good opportunity here for him to make up some ground in the championship after St. Louis. Obviously, he's a top-notch driver. He's been on the podium before. You know, he's hunting for that championship, puts a lot into his program. You know, all these cars have really high horsepower. You know, they're really built, you know, for dry conditions, but they can very easily adapt to these wet conditions as well. So even though they have a lot of horsepower, they do have dry and wet setups. And it's really just going to be about what team can put together the best setup given the conditions to try and maximize their ability to control these cars in areas where it may be more grippier than other areas, right? And so, I mean, drifting itself is car control. So this is really what these guys are professionals at. And, you know, trying to, you know, take home wins really is about driver skill, but also driver car setup.
Yep, grip management and slip management. Here we go. Josh Love out front, and Josh Robinson in that chase position. Who's the superior Josh in the situation? As Love sticking it to the wall. Robinson dropping back. Love showing you why he's our current points leader.
Wow.
Robinson. Oh, and just as I say that, Love looks like he makes a small correction. Does not extend himself past the edge of the track. Some wavering there, throws it back out there. Robinson a correction. Now bring it to that final outside zone. You could hear the throttle, Ryan, a little on and off for both of the guys. Let's analyze this. There were some mistakes definitely after they exited and right before they exited the big bank.
The bank was stellar, I thought, for Josh Love, and you can see they were very close on initiation. Josh Love quickly got right on the bank, nice and high on the line. You can see that Josh Robinson is a little bit behind, but he's trying to follow the line as best he possibly can. Now right here, Josh is gonna make a little bit of a correction, unwind some angle out of the car. Does do a good job on outside zone 2. You see a slight correction from Josh Robinson, and then a bigger correction right there that still looked like Josh Love was having flowed through that section. So it looked like an independent mistake there for Robinson where he nearly zeroed out the angle on the vehicle. Here's that mistake from Josh Love in the front. He regains control, is able to get to both zones. A slight little bobble there, then watch Robinson. He has a big hiccup right there, has to almost kind of reinitiate to get back on it. I don't think it's going to be an incomplete, but it's very, very close to a mistake that judges might call an incomplete. So he's going to have to do some work here. And we saw Josh Love on the big bank kind of setting a really solid standard for what's to be expected in the lead run.
Again, both these guys very talented, like the driving, just tighten it up. This is kind of what we saw from our first battle there, right? I mean, Chase Schmidt and Blake, this is almost, it's newer BMW versus older BMW, right? Kind of that first battle, little sloppy, very reminiscent of what we saw as we started our top 16, Chase Schmidt and Blake Olson. So now, who's going to come out on top? Who's going to clean it up, put a bow on it, and advance into the Great 8? We're about to see Josh Robinson again, hopped up like a kangaroo. You know that jacked kangaroo that you see the videos of? I feel like that's the kangaroo on the side of Josh Robinson's BMW. Here we go. Robinson throws it in. Let's see Love looking like they are mimic. Oh, Robinson getting a little twitches here and there. Let's see how they go. Down, dropping into the power alley. Love shoots out that outside zone indicator. Now bringing it into that front clip. Now transition back into that final outer zone. There's Robinson. Love, definitely good proximity. Doesn't go as deep as Robinson, but still very exciting to watch. And I think we asked for and received what we asked for, the little refinements.
Yeah, it was a pretty good battle here. You saw Josh Love really towing up the back end towards the final section of the course. Great initiation in tandem there, getting right up against the wall. And Josh Robinson trying to be aggressive, matching that line and angle of Josh Love. He does tap the wall there a little bit, has to make an adjustment. You can see the front wheels kind of sliding around a little bit, but look at Josh Love in the chase. He's kind of down about a half a car length and falling back maybe 3-4 cars, even by the time they get to the end of the exit there coming off the bank. Josh Robinson does a great job on that second outside zone. A little bit of an understeer there on the transition where he misses outside zone 3, and he goes a little bit too much of a late apex on that inside clip. But now coming into this final section, you're going to see Josh Love tuck in here and be aggressive. He's going to sacrifice line to get proximity. Now, was that a smart move? We'll have to take everything into comparison and see how the judges come out here after both runs. I think it's a pretty close battle, Jared. I could see it going, you know, maybe one way or the other, but it also may be too close to call.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, I don't want to, I don't want to make any claims just yet. Definitely don't. I mean, seeing Lontaine tap it in. Looks like the judges are requesting a side-by-side instant replay. Okay, so, all right, side-by-side. Wadman, we are getting updates from Wadman in regards to Kelsey Rawlings, and that contact was made. We'll get to that in just a moment. But right now, Robinson and Love.
And give you a little context here, Jared. At least one of the judges has put their result in. I think one of the other judges is wanting to see this one more time. I think his result has yet to come in, so this may be a defining moment for him to look at and spot something that may put it one way or the other. Here it is here. There's the side-by-side. This is right after initiation. On the right, you see the lead of Josh Robinson. On the left, the lead of Joshua Love. You see some similarities and some slight differences, but the leads are, you know, they're comparable at least. I think the big understeer there in the lead from Josh Robinson, and then right there in the chase is, you know, an area where, you know, there may be for one judge something to kind of point out, but Love did have a few mistakes as well. It's not to say that his runs were perfect. It's definitely a close battle here.
All right, hold on as I believe, okay, there is Josh, and one more time from Brian Eggert, and I believe, and there you go. Is that what you wanted? Josh Love gets the win. Josh Love gets the win. It advances on. Josh Robinson knocked out. So our current points leader advances on. So Josh Love gets the win. All right, so right now we are seeing Kelsey Rawlings on the start line, but no Brian Wadman. Unfortunately, Wadman was not able to fix his vehicle in the 5-minute allotment, so Kelsey Rawlings will get the win and will be going against Chase Schmidt.
And we are, I'm not sure if you mentioned, I stepped away just for a second
please.
mentally, but Kelsey Rawlings was able to retain her competition timeout. She did not go deeper than the 10 minutes that is allotted for this.
No, that's good. Yeah, no, I did not mention that just yet. So that's great because, again, she was not at fault. Wadman was at fault, so she was allotted 10 minutes. She fixed it, and she is back up here on the line. So this is her bye run in order to continue on. But right now, seeing headlights go off and on, didn't know if that was maybe losing power. We go. Kelsey Rawlings with her bye run. Listen to this thing purr.
So Kelsey Rowling's here, showing that her car is in good condition, just needs to leave the line there, showing that the car is put together in order so that she doesn't bite into her own competition timeout. So she will retain that, and it looks like the car is in fair condition. She can go back and work on it a bit more, but this is a big victory for her. Currently sitting in 9th place, she will now pass Brian Wadman and move closer into the top 5 as she makes her way into the grade 8 here at Evergreen Speedway.
All right, as we advance on into our next battle, we are officially halfway through the top 16. Let's go to the other side of the bracket. This is a vehicle that might look familiar. Definitely livery has changed, but this is a vehicle that was in S's stable and now is the proud owner is Dmitry Brutsky. So he'll be going against Nick Novak. Brutsky, this is his first time out here on course doing battle. We saw Novak earlier go against Madison. This will be a sight lap for these two drivers. Says never settle there on the front bumper. Some more BMW action here. There are the stats. Brutsky, 34 from Belarus with 800 horsepower, and Novak from Las Vegas, another BMW Novak boy, Bimmer boy with 900 horsepower. As Nick Novak will be chasing Dmitry Brutsky.
I think a lot of people felt that Dmitry Brutsky was very deserving of a podium coming out of St. Louis. He was driving, pretty spectacularly throughout the entire weekend, just missing out and getting that 4th place finish, losing out to Austin Mata. But he is definitely one to watch here, doing great so far this season. With Nick Novak, he's got a little bit of ground to make up. He's currently sitting in 15th place right here. And with a couple of guys ahead of him that have gone out, like Carlos Arrieta, Josh Robinson, he could make his way into the top 10 pretty easily here with a great 8 berth. So we'll see how he does against Dmitry Brutsky.
Let's get him back up to the line, get him ready to shred. See very similar builds. Ryan Lantain, what do you attest all the BMW surging of a lot of the Pro 2 guys and even the whole drift world? Why so many BMWs lately?
Because they are a great chassis, and typically they're very affordable. If you look at an E46, they're a dime a dozen to get a chassis, with a small 4-cylinder in them. And then you're generally going to put a Turbo 6 or a V8 in them anyway. So the platform itself is very competitive and extremely affordable.
And also the aftermarket.
And the aftermarket's been growing like crazy lately, and you can see how many of them are all around the world. Of course, Europe's had them for a lot longer, but Americans seem to be catching on now.
Yep, right on. Just had to, that's, again, my sentiments, I assumed, but just had to ask. But you're seeing so many of them. The drift tax, I feel like, is going to go up. They're like E36s are the new S13s.
Yeah, at home, you can get an E46, higher mileage that's in decent shape for $500-600, Canadian, which is, sometimes super, super cheap.
Yep. All right, here we go. Back to the action. Brutsky and Novak throwing it in. You see that little feint, little flick into the wall. Brutsky riding high. Yes, sir. Novak, he's familiar with it. Man, Brutsky looks like he's been out here all day, locked and loaded. Look at that. No corrections from those front wheels. Slight correction right before he drops into that power alley. Fills all of that second outer zone. Novak, you see him jumping to the side of the red BMW. Now on that only front clip, now see how they handle that final outside zone. Brutsky, little small correction, but that allowed him to get all the way out there. Brutsky out front, looking really, really competitive, Ryan. He talked about it in St. Louis. Man, Brutsky was deserving of being on the podium. Didn't happen. If all things keep going this way, he might find himself there here in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that might have been the best battle we've seen so far. And you can see Novak with a lot of confidence coming into this, dives right in and tries to stay as close as he can to Brutsky. He falls back a little bit, makes a couple little mistakes, but right there you can see that Brutsky is dialed in. Beautiful job. There's a slight adjustment from Novak, but he's still keeping the pressure on, and he's not making any major mistakes given the conditions. He dives in right here, gets right to the rear quarter panel of Brutsky. Brutsky looking smooth and solid through that inside clip. Nice little adjustment there by Brutsky. Doesn't fully kick it out, and that caused him to go into that zone a little bit later. Novak is able to close up the rear end there towards the final section of the 4th outside zone. So a great start here, as now Nick Novak will go to the lead and Dmitry Brutsky will chase him down.
All right. Nick Novak out front. Second half of this Royal Purple Synthetic Oil top 16. Dmitry Brutsky, let's see, looks really phenomenal out front. Can he do it? Here in the chase position, Novak throws it in. Novak, looks like they're alternating positions. Not only just lead chase, but also Novak, a dominant lead run. You can see that trunk opening up as he slams it into the wall. Oh no, Novak. Yes, he goes off course though. Unfortunately for Novak, what a bummer. He was definitely on the line.
He was looking really good there on the bit. That was arguably the best job that we've seen on the big bank, but he held it a little bit longer than he should have, and his car is definitely taking a beating here, is falling apart. You can see, as you mentioned, that trunk popping up. That's a little Odi Bakchis a la St. Louis
right
there that could have played a bigger role in this. But unfortunately, he's going to push too hard. He's going to go 4 off. But if you just take a look at this from a purely aesthetic standpoint, he's fully locked here. He's right up against the wall. He should have come off the bank right there.
Yep.
But coming off too late, he tries to angle up to save it, but it's just too much momentum. And in this weather, it's way too hard to hold that and try to get back down in a position. There's where the trunk pops up there. Yep. So he probably would have been okay. That was due to damage on the course. Brutsky was patient, did the right things, but if Novak would have locked that in, it would have been battle on through that center section.
Yeah, remember Royal Purple, this is the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift, and Brutsky will be getting it unanimously. Just make it official. Dmitry Brutsky gets the win. Nick Novak is knocked out. Now, Royal Purple is offering Pro 2 contingency. They got money for first, second, and third, and $2 grand for the top finisher at the end of the year. Top 3 finishers running decal and a guaranteed payout. Here we are in the top 16. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. All right, here is our next battle. Both these boys from Southern California. This should be a fun one. I'm pretty sure they've drifted together for sure online, but I believe also at Adams out there in the Inland Empire. Micah Diaz, hold fast on the hat. It's on his gear. It's on his ride. Riverside, California, 620 horsepower. Andy Haitley, 36 years old from Malibu, California. 2 very unique vehicles. More BMWs. Old school versus new school. As they will be getting their sight laps. And again, one of these drivers will be going against Dmitry Brutsky. Here is the bracket. Here is the lay of the land. Here is the road course. Ryan, already, let's wrap out about those exciting battles already on the left side.
Yeah, well, we're seeing a berth into the Great 8 for Kelsey Rowlings, which is awesome for her. That's going to be a first for her this year. And Chase Schmidt, they're going to be doing battle in the first half of the Great 8, but on the bottom half, it's a big one, Jared. Jonathan Hurst and Josh Love, your current 1-2 in the championship. And you don't get many opportunities like this to make a big impact in the championship. And a lot of times, drivers think back and say, if only that one battle, well, this is going to be one of those for Jonathan Hurst and Josh Love.
Yeah, really, really excited. Like you said, that Love and Hurst battle. Brutsky, the way he's driving, one of these guys, Micah or Andy, will be going against Brutsky. And the way Brutsky's driving, for not having gone battle against anybody, he looked very confident.
Yeah, I think he's been incredible to watch this year. I mean, the whole Pro 2 field has been awesome, in my opinion. It's arguably the best that we've ever seen. They came in super prepared. I don't know if that was because we had more time or just this is a set of mature drivers that have done all the hard work to get to this point and are making the most of it. Yeah. But, we're just seeing that in spades here with a lot of these drivers and many names that I think a lot of fans are unfamiliar with, but we'll certainly get to know more and more as we go deeper into competition. For me, with Jonathan Hurst, he almost seems like a different driver from last year to this year.
I would agree.
Just amazing amount of progression that is to me noticeable.
Right. Yeah. I was with him at LS Fest. I think it was last weekend. But he definitely seems like a different driver. He's getting it's all about seat time, man. It's all about seat time. Speaking of seat time, not going to see some seat time from that of Andy Haley. He called his competition timeout. That is a 5-minute allotment once he gets hands on the car. So Micah Diaz, you saw him backing out there. So Andy Haley, let's see if he can get his car up and running. When we come back, we'll continue with top 16 action here at the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship.
Quality of Japanese craftsmanship. Brid.
What is power and control? Power is the sprint. Control is the hurdle. Power is the flame. Control is the perfect stake. Power is turbulence. Control is containment. Power is the ignition. Control is the sensor. NGK and NTK. Power under control.
The Falcon Azenis FK510 tire is engineered for today's high-performance vehicles. Built with added tread rigidity for precise handling and an advanced rubber compound that inspires confidence, rain or shine. Get more out of your sports coupe or sedan with the Azenis FK510.
All right, welcome back. The side laps have been completed by our next drivers, and they are on the start line. We got Austin Mata and Ricky Hoffman. So Mata and Hoffman on the start line. And you can see Hoffman there on the left and Mata on the right. Mata will lead. He drew the number 3 card. This is his first battle. We did see Ricky earlier going against Mike Power. Mike Power made a big mistake. Let's see if we get a clean battle. Mata initiates. Ricky, slow roll into it. Now Mata, tapping that wall, stays in it, shimmies his way. Hoffman, not as much angle, maybe playing it safe, saving the angle for proximity. But Ricky, both these guys, TireStacks.com S chassis, going out to that third outside zone, salvaging some run here, slapping the wall as you can see Mata, and Hoffman does not get all the way to the outside zone.
Yeah, Hoffman may have had to reinitiate coming off of the bank. It was very close, at least at first pass, to an incomplete. We'll take a look at it again. Mata continuing kind of a very good progression in his Pro 2 career, looking strong here, adapting to these conditions. Gets a nice initiation here, starts moving up towards the higher end of the bank. You can see very, very late initiation there from Hoffman. It was way past the last standing cone, so he's got kind of 2 X's against him. That would have been the first one. The second one is going to come right here as he comes down off the bank. Watch the front wheels. Are going to almost come to 0 angle for a second. Looks like he has to reinitiate right there. Yeah, that's pretty close to an incomplete for my money. I don't know what the judges think, but if it is an incomplete in the chase, we still have to focus our attention on the lead driver, who, even though he doesn't hit that full depth that you want to see in the final outside zone, he did a pretty good job overall. So Austin Mata, seemingly on the first run, has an advantage going into the second run here. And of course, we've got to look at both the lead and the chase, but Mata now will chase him down as Ricky Hoffman goes to the lead.
Yeah, Hoffman's got the clean air out front. Not so clean. Got the windshield wipers ripping away. You can see Mata's working double time, man. Look at that thing. It's about to fly away. As Hoffman, you can see just giving a little casual wave there. And there is the cards there. You can see Mata from Shakopee. And again, fairly equally matched horsepower. Both these guys in S chassis. Jackson, New Jersey, excuse me, Ricky Hoffman. And here we go. Hoffman will lead. Can he continue his success train? We'll find out now. Hoffman in that chase position. He rolled into it fairly slowly. Now that he's in the lead, jumps right to it. Oh, he's working his way up the bank. Mata really, oh, and then Mata comes out of it. Mata slaps the wall. Oh, and Hoffman goes off course. Man, you can see Mata's back. Man, that trunk has seen better days, but that means he's been putting it to the wall, putting the hurt on it. As Hoffman, you can see, kind of falls down there. Oh, he might be struggling. I don't think he's 100%. You can see barely crawling across the finish line there for Hoffman. Again, backing those things in. That's why that's those missing some taillights and bashed up the bumpers.
Yeah, if I was Mata's spotter here, I'd basically just be saying, hey, you know, let's take a gamble on the incomplete from Hoffman. Just get through the run, keep, you know, decent pressure on. But he makes some big mistakes. He also got a really late initiation there. And if we think that this section of the course right here is going to play a big role in the decision, watch Mata in the chase position. He's going to angle up, hit the wall. That's for sure an incomplete, right? So now we've got 2 incompletes in the chase. It's going to come down to these lead runs. But right there, Hoffman goes 3 tires off. So just on that, I think Mata can still win this battle because he's going to have the better of the lead runs. You've got 2 incompletes in the chase by both drivers, right? And then it's going to go back to a comparison of the lead runs. And I think we felt pretty good about Mata's lead run overall.
Yeah.
The 3 off there for Hoffman, I think, is going to put him in a much more difficult position to convince the judges that his lead was better. But I'm sure that we're going to see some replays here, and we may even see a side-by-side to kind of give us a better opportunity to analyze.
There you can see the drivers waiting patiently, the judges waiting for the side-by-side, Ryan. And I think you elaborated on that properly. I couldn't agree more. I think just, again, 2, let's just call it what it is, failed chase runs. And then with the leads, you can see Hoffman making that major mistake. Looks like side-by-side coming in hot. Or coming in wet, I should say. Here we go. Delay there.
Let's just look at the leads because that's really all that matters, right? The chases, I think we know, are incompletes. So let's take a look at the leads. There's Mata on the left, Hoffman on the right. Mata had a slight little adjustment. There's the 3 off. That's the biggest mistake that we see from Hoffman in his lead. Now let's go back to Mata on the left. How's he doing up there? He looks okay. Good flow through that inside clip. Nice little transition back around. Hoffman not too shabby. He kind of has a little bit of a punctuation there, and Mata was able to fill the 4th outside zone a little bit deeper as well.
Almost like one tire to rule them all, man. Lord of the tires here as Austin Mata does get the win. Austin gets the win, and that was unanimous. Austin Mata gets the win and will advance on. Yeah, so all top 5 drivers from our first round of competition advance on, except, unfortunately, old Blake Olson does not advance on. So Mata moves on to the Grade 8. Now remember, if this is your first Pro 2 or any of these, if you didn't watch St. Louis, we do have a 3rd place battle. We do have the consolation battle because we do not have a consolation. So, all right, so as we are going to go back to the Micah Diaz and Andy Haitley battle, these guys did already do their sight laps, so we're just going to go right into it. It's good to see Andy back out here in his car running. We'll see if it's 100%. But here we go. Diaz in the lead position. Hold fast. And Andy Haitley in the chase position. All right, leaving the start line. Looks like got a clean start here. Diaz will lead. New school. Micah throws it in. holding fast, literally. Holding high on the wall, on the bank. Andy Haley, see some corrections there in the chase position. Micah locked and loaded, brings it into the outside zone. Both of them dipping that back left tire into the second. Oh, Andy Haley dives in around that front clip. Let's see how they handle that last outside zone. Micah straightens up just a touch there in order to get some traction and then throw it into the outside zone. Really well executed there from Micah Diaz. Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that may have been the most well put together lead run I think we've seen, the most complete lead run we've seen so far.
Him and Brudski so far, I think.
Yeah, there was no major mistakes, and he was really doing, I think, what the judges were asking in terms of early initiation, prior to the last standing cone, getting to angle, staying up high on the bank, and he pretty much does that. Right at this point, you sometimes are thinking, oh, when is he going to hit the wall? He doesn't do that, and the line that he's locked on in here is very consistent, and he comes off at the right time, keeping angle in the car, smoothness, coming down into the power alley, executing the second outside zone really well, gets to the third outside zone. Now, this is where Andy Haley dives in. Now, Haley had a little bit of some struggles on the bank. You can see he's lacking some angle here in the chase. He's keeping good proximity, but Micah Diaz is putting down an incredible lead run, which is allowing him to be able to attack when he needs to. He didn't get a chance to attack in the final outside zone, but you could see that Micah Diaz was able to fill the last 3/4 of it, or the last quarter of it rather, and did a great job in the lead position. So we've seen the chase run from Haley, we've seen the lead run from Micah Diaz, and now let's switch positions and see who's going to be moving on into the grade 8.
We are finding out that Micah Diaz is now calling his competition timeout. Even with that great run, might not be 100%, so we'll see what is going on with Micah Diaz. And we are also finding out that our next battle was to be Human Rahimi and Dustin Miles. So we are hearing Dustin Miles is calling his competition timeout. So comp timeout. That means we are left with nothing to do but wait. So our NGK Spark Plugs competition timeout. Reed, do Spark Plugs timeout? Well, you know what? Also, in addition to providing spark plugs for domestic and import vehicles, NGK produces spark plugs for motorcycles, power sports, marine, and outdoor power equipment. And yeah, spark plugs time out, they sure do. And timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling and provides the best engine performance, it ensures less repair time, can save you money on unnecessary repairs. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about OE suggested spark plug intervals and find the best plug for your engines. NGK, the ignition specialist. If you haven't already completed the Air Force Aim High trivia, go ahead and go into the description of the YouTube live stream. Click the Aim High trivia and answer this question for us. The United States Air Force flag consists of a blue background with an eagle surrounded by how many stars? Is it 10? Is it 15? 18 or 13? So go ahead and head over to that Aim High trivia. Answer, have some fun, bragging rights here. Well, we got a little downtime. We'll take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue the action here at round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship here at Evergreen Speedway. We got a couple competition timeouts, NGK competition timeouts. When we come back, more drifting action.
In my 1,000 horsepower competition drift car, I use Royal Purple XPR 5W50. XPR is specifically formulated to increase horsepower and torque in high performance and racing engines. And its revolutionary Cinerlic additive technology and zinc phosphorus fortified formulation provides the highest level of protection against heat and wear. The new 550 is all killer, no filler. It has better high temperature performance than any other 2050 engine oil. The result is a performance oil that protects like no other, utilizing superior base oils and additives. It's what sets Royal Purple apart from the rest, and what is also transferred down to their HPS High Performance Street Oil, which is what I run in my daily drifter. So from here to here, all you get is extreme performance from the synthetic experts. Royal Purple.
Honestly, I think the Achilles 123S is the best tire for drifting. It's just so consistent. There's so much grip.
I love being on Achilles. It is incredible. The tire is incredible.
It's the best tire that I've ever used. Tons of grip. It's just so consistent, precise, very predictable.
Having a tire that's consistent all the way through from when it's cold to when it's roasting hot is very important.
I really wouldn't want to be on any other tire.
Oh man, you can see a lot of the pro vehicles there. Ryan, you were talking about a newcomer there, a Formula Drift rookie coming to us from Japan.
Yeah, Wataru Masuyama. This ought to suit him well, to be honest. If we do have this tomorrow for pro. I mean, just looking at the weather as we're making our way through the paddock here, some of the drivers in pro are here working on their vehicles. I know that car number 64, Chris Forsberg, is here, as well as Alec Robbins and a few other guys getting some last-minute adjustments and changes. I know that Dean Carney had an incident yesterday, and he's going to be working on the vehicle. But for today, we still have two more battles to go. We saw two simultaneous or nearly simultaneous competition timeouts, one coming from Micah Diaz.
He wasn't in his pit, so that's a sign of a good time.
And then the other one coming from Dustin Miles as we were trying to get him and Houman Rahimi. I don't know if it's official yet, but it does sound like Dustin Miles may have the possibility of
just calling it,
considering a forfeiture. And I'm getting the head shake that is official. So that means that Houman Rahimi will do his lap to solidify his position into the grade 8.
Yeah, this is just a bye run for Houman Rahimi. And you were talking about Jonathan Hurst, and I credit a lot of Jonathan Hurst's success of him and Houman Rahimi have teamed up this year. Again, a couple weeks ago, I was wrapping out with Houman and Jonathan at LS Fest, and that was 2 weeks ago because last week I was at Ryan Turk's wedding. But thank you, Brian Eggert, for reminding me. But they have joined forces because they're sharing resources, they're sharing parts because the G37 and the Z have very similar parts, and obviously engines. They're both running the LS. So I think that, just pulling your resources together,
contributing factor.
Totally, yeah, for sure. So listen to Houman banging away here in his LS-powered Nissan Z.
There's the vehicle of Dmitry Bruschi. Who's he going up against in the grade 8?
Dmitry Bruschi will be going against questionable Andy Hately or Micah Diaz. So Micah Diaz, like we said, both those guys called their competition timeouts. Andy first, and then now Micah. And I always wonder about that, like, why do they call it, even though, not what was wrong, because he looked good. So I'm always wondering what went south.
Yeah, that always is a question of whether or not, it's the right call to make. Maybe you hear a little noise or there's something kind of fidgety. But, if you're able to keep it all the way down till you absolutely really need it, like in the case of contact, That's always great, but it's so important to advance in these rounds. I think the intuition is use it even if you think you don't need it.
Right, yeah. When in doubt, competition timeout. Here we go. We are back to the action again. Both these guys calling comp timeouts. Speaking of which, Micah Diaz, can he make it for the first time into grade 8? Let's see if he can shred it past Andy Haitley, both Southern California boys. Let's see what you got. Andy Haitley will be leading, and Micah Diaz will be giving chase. Ryan, you're talking about a lot of the Pro 2 guys getting some fanfare. Micah Diaz has quite a following on YouTube and on Instagram, so he's definitely showing up with some fanfare. So here we go, Andy Haitley coming out of the chute. Let's see how he initiates. Andy Haitley goes in the bank. Whoa, buddy. Throws some more angle at it. Great looking car. I've always loved Andy Haitley's E30. And Micah Diaz slides to the side of Haitley. Now into the outside zone, you can see Andy Haitley does exceed the edge of the track just a little bit, not too much, as Micah, you can see, kicking back a little bit here. Andy Haitley took a wider swing, was about the 3rd hash mark on that front clip. Andy filling all of that outside zone.
Yeah,
Right.
I think Micah Diaz was trying to temper his attack there. Haitley was coming through the course in areas, obviously a lot of it because of the rain, maybe some of it because of the setup. It seemed like a little bit slower than Diaz had anticipated. But Haitley in his lead, good snap right here into initiation, right up against the wall. Starts to have a little bit of separation. Diaz notices it, tries to start closing the door, but look at this. You can see the front wheels of Andy Haitley locked and nice on a good line. Here's where Diaz starts to attack a little bit, and it seems like he's surging, has to pull out of it. Haitley just drops about a tire, gets a second one right at the edge of that outside zone, right at the edge of outside zone 2, and then here's where you mentioned, Jared, he pushes really wide, almost pinches off Diaz here in that inside clip, but a good adjustment from Diaz as he starts to tuck up on the inside, and Haitley getting right up against the wall there, a little love tap, filling that final outside zone about almost 3/4 of the way through it, so still getting some points from the judges there, but it will come down to how both drivers performed in their lead and chase runs comparatively. And I still don't think this is going to be an easy call. It was a good back and forth battle, some highlights from both drivers, but certainly some mistakes. I think the lead run from Micah Diaz was a standout moment for me. And it was one of the best runs, if not the best lead run all day.
Yeah, I mean, you said that earlier with Dimitri Brutsky, and I would say those two right there. And yeah, and you took the words out of my mouth. I would say that Micah had a really stellar lead run, and that could be the deciding factor for these judges. Let's see what we got. Always love seeing Andy Haitley, and even better the vehicle as well. Run, media, run. All right, want to get another look for the judges, just to really make sure. And Ryan, again, just another, just echoing, I think, all of our sentiments. These Pro 2 drivers really throwing down here as Chelsea Denofa brings everybody dinner. Really appreciate that. Here's the side-by-side. Kemp feeling good about it. Here we go.
Yeah, the lead run, you actually see a bigger mistake that I didn't catch the first time around early on from Andy Haitley. So I think that's going to put the leads in Micah Diaz's favor just on that alone. So it's really going to, for me, it's going to come down to the chase runs here and focusing in on that. You can see a good surging attack there from Andy Haitley. Great job on that inside clip. Diaz, it looks like, you know, he was trying to get the speed right and the setup right, surging in places, but making some mistakes, really maybe not adjusting to Haitley's slower speed, or at least the perceived slower speed in certain areas of the course than he anticipated. So tough call here for the judges overall. Let's find out who's going to the grade 8.
Zwing in the building. Thanks for joining us out here, Zwing. As, again, old school versus new school. Andy's been banging away in FD for quite some time, so it's always good to see him back in the building. The E30, different liveries, but just defecting back to the classic orange. And Micah Diaz, that vehicle, again, I've seen a couple of his videos taking that thing out to Adams and shredding it. All right, here we go. And slide him left or right. What do we got? Brian Eggert. Really deliberating.
Did you guys also?
Here we go. Slide him left for Diaz, right for Haitley. And Ewell says Hately. And one more time for Ryan Lontaine, and Andy Hately gets the win. Wow. So so Andy Hately gets the win. Ryan, my needle was kind of going towards Micah Diaz, and I have Lontaine on the headset, but he went one more time. I hear you guys talking. What Lontaine, if you could jump in again, my needle, maybe there was something that I didn't see, but these guys across the room here went with Hately.
Yeah, I think they put a lot of weight on, shoot, names are bad.
Micah Diaz.
Micah Diaz straightened in the chase between inside clip 1 and outside zone 4 in his chase position. So they weighted that pretty heavy, and I weighted the mistake that Hately made on initiation on outside zone 1 pretty heavy. So I saw mistakes on both sides. I couldn't really give a win in both positions to either driver. They felt that Micah's straightening here was more serious in the chase position. That's why they went with Hately.
Ryan, Sage, what do you think, man?
So much of my intention was on the lead run of Micah Diaz, and maybe that was misplaced. I know that he was struggling in the chase run, not adapting to what Hately was doing, and Hately certainly did have a pretty decent lead, except for that mistake that Ryan pointed out, which was almost an incomplete. So I kind of understand where Ryan's coming from that perspective.
Yep. So this incorrect right here, as this was to be the battle, but unfortunately Dustin Miles not able to make it. Our final battle of the Royal Purple Top 16. Now we jump in to the Achilles Tire Top 8. Achilles Tire, the official tire of the Pro 2 Championship. All right, so let's get back to it as again, Dustin Miles unfortunately not able to make it. We saw Human Rahimi's bye run, so he advances on into the Grade 8, and here is our first battle of the Achilles Tire Grade 8. This is Chase Schmidt. Like I said, this is his own backyard, 45 minutes away from here, and coming all the way from Florida, now living in Southern California. Kelsey Rawlings, this is the furthest she's made it this year, so let's see how these two drivers throw down. There's not a sight lap, so we're going to go right on into it. They know the conditions right now as they stand, and they're probably bettering, so as we haven't seen rainfall, and the announcer's curse. Oh, look at that. Look, Ryan, blue sky. Wow, look at that. It's amazing. Here we go. So Achilles Tire Top 8. Yeah, Ryan's not concerned. He thought it was something better or worse, not just blue sky. Ryan's like, what? Oh, just blue sky? All right, cool. Did you think it was something worse? That's fine. Here we go. Yeah. Poke the bear, Ryan. See what happens. I'm just kidding. All right. Kelsey Rawlings will lead. Chase Schmidt in the chase position. Hashtag FDSEA. Let everybody know you're watching from the comfort of your own home. And Kelsey leaves the start line, minus that headlight. She got into that contact earlier on the bank with Wadman. Wadding up with Wadman. Chase with an early initiation before Kelsey. That might have ended up biting him in the end as Kelsey continues some wavering. You can see some slide in there and some shimming. Whoa, big angle there into that second outside zone. Now into the third, through the power rally, the splash zone on that front clip. Well done by Kelsey. Chase knocking it over and into that final outer zone. Kelsey works it all the way out. Really want to watch this one again. Yeah, we were both kind of startled by Chase's initiation before Kelsey rolled into it. But take a look again at Kelsey up front.
There may have been a little Osbo Dean contact there at the past the finish line, but let's get back to that. Kelsey Rawlings heading up into initiation, but he said very early in the chase position there, and you said it might have affected him. I think it did a little bit, but he made an adjustment to get back on as quickly as he could. Now he's kind of matching the line, but minimizing the angle there. And Kelsey almost close to a massive understeer, which would have been a big problem from her. So Chase Schmidt trying to close the door, coming off the bank. You see that little bit of that understeer there from him, but staying back on it as they get to outside zone 2. The transition was a little bit weak by Kelsey, but she does get out to outside zone 3 right at the edge. A little bit less angle there from Schmidt, but keeping the proximity on, and you can see it's really reducing there right past that inside clip. Kelsey was pushing towards that outside zone and looks like she made a little bit of an adjustment to not go into the wall, and she filled it really well there. So great job by her. Let's switch things up now as Chase Schmidt will take the lead. Kelsey Rowlings chasing him down.
Yeah, Kelsey looked really confident in that lead position, but now she's going to chase somebody that is very familiar with this track. So I have to think that getting that, under her belt as far as a good lead run, she knows that Chase knows this track as well. So you have to think the spotter is in her head and saying, all right, just follow him. He knows this track. Be confident. Everywhere he goes, you need to follow. You need to follow close because Chase could just pull away. And just like that, you see Chase thrown in. Not deep angle, but I tell you what, it looks good. It's locked and loaded. He's got a bullet in the chamber. Shoot to kill. Let's come down off the bank into the power alley. Quick little waver there. Those Kansai wheels into that second outside zone. Now Kelsey could strike here as Chase Schmidt, you see, taking a little bit of angle out of it. Kelsey gains the proximity, wraps it around the front clip into that final outer zone. Let's see if Chase can bring it all the way out. That could really, that could have put a really good exclamation point on it. I think he leaves a little on the table there. He got in a halfway point, dipped out with that Achilles tire in the back corner, Ryan. Like I said, Chase, very familiar, probably more familiar than any other Pro 2 driver out here.
Yeah, let's take a look at it again because he was very aggressive in his chase run on the initiation. This one as well gets it nice and early there. Kelsey almost past the last point of initiation. You can see, look at the front wheels adjusting after she initiates, so she doesn't get off to a great start on the big bank, chasing down Chase Schmidt. Schmidt pretty consistent up there, good angle, just rubbing the exit point of outside zone number 1. Beautiful job on outside zone 2 and 3 right at the edge there. But here comes Kelsey, closing the door through inside clip 1. The final transition here, Chase goes back around, gets right to the edge, but only fills the last quarter of it. Here it is coming off the big bank once again. Look at this execution on outside zone 2. Now Kelsey here makes a bit of a sacrifice by gaining proximity to not go out to outside zone 3. Will that work off in her favor? She was a big transition back around, and then right there you can see Schmidt just fills the last section of that outside zone. So good back and forth battle here. I think what happened on initiation from Kelsey in her chase run is definitely going to hurt her.
Yeah, there you go. So Chase Schmidt does get the win. Chase Schmidt comes out on top. Really well executed for Kelsey Rawlings, but you're going against somebody that just knows the trail, man. So unfortunately, Kelsey Rawlings knocked out, but Chase Schmidt in his own home track will be going to the Final Four.
Yeah, I just want to point out, Jared, for fans watching at home, you can clearly see the yellow cones that are 3, 2, 1 leading up into the initiation. The last one is basically right before the first big sign. So that's going to be really important because we're seeing some drivers starting to have tendencies where they're initiating past that last standing cone, and you have to know that that's going to affect the judge's outlook. But let's move on to the next battle here. Jonathan Hurst and Josh Love. We kind of tease this one. It's a big one for sure. Number 1 and 2 in the series right now.
Yeah, this was the finals in St. Louis, our first round of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Hurst and Love, look at these two hunks of beef right here. Let's see how we're going to throw down. Paducah, Kentucky versus Denver, Colorado. The G37 and the BMW E36. Fire on the mountain. Let's see, Josh Love. Let's see if you got fire here in Monroe, Washington. All right. Let's see what you got. Jonathan Hurst will lead. Josh Love giving chase. And Mata still alive. Remember, he got 3rd place in St. Louis. So all of our points contenders really making a statement here back to back. But one of these gentlemen is not going to have an opportunity to even podium. So again, the points chase will be heating up. Just imagine if Hurst goes out early or if Love, there could be a big gap here between 1 and 2. Hurst throws it in. The Cash Racing G30. Oh, Hurst goes in hard. And there you go. You could see the rim pulling away from it.
That was really odd, Jared. I think as we go back and look at this, we're going to want to try to pick this apart. I almost feel like my first impression here is that it looked like 2 independent incidents. Maybe something will pop up in the replay that we can look at it in a little bit more granular way.
and surmise what transpired there. But this may be a situation where both drivers are feeling the pressure here, being the top 2 drivers in the series, and potentially both pushed a little bit too hard. You saw the very aggressive approach by Josh Love in the chase, and then we saw the wall contact from Jonathan Hurst in his lead position. So let's take a look at it again. They both are very, very close to each other. You can see Love dives in. Let's see if he makes contact here with Hurst. Nope.
Look at his front wheels,
His
Ryan.
front wheels are massively understeering. That looks like it's independent, Ryan.
That looked like Jonathan Love got in really early, right behind Hurst. You can see that his front right wheel was locked up, so he's left foot braking, and he ends up understeering, tries to overcompensate by rotating the car. And we're going to have to watch this a few times to see exactly what occurred first. You know, was Jonathan Hurst already going in? And
interesting.
Love tried to avoid him,
adapt.
Or was Hurst already going, or was Love already going in? And need more.
And Hurst.
Yeah, and then Hurst went in after. So we're just trying to ask for more replays here so we can view this from as many different angles as we can.
So let me run a possible scenario by you here. Are we saying that they're, if we're saying that they're independent of each other, are you saying that it matters which one may have occurred, quote unquote, first?
Well, if it's independent, that means that Hurst didn't influence Love, right? And in that case, it's both. They're both at fault for their own independent crashes.
Right, so 0-0.
Right, but if Hurst is responsible for the overall for both of them, then Hurst is held responsible for Love's crash as well, which means Love doesn't have to call a competition timeout to fix his car.
And give us some potential candidates for, could be at fault. You're saying, he slowed down, he misshifted.
Or there was a slowdown from Hurst because he knew he was going to go into the wall, and then Hurst didn't have anywhere to go. Hurst was going to go in the wall, and then Love didn't have anywhere to go. So right there, it actually looks like it was independent.
Like independent.
Yeah, as though Love was already making a mistake early on. You can see that he tried to be very aggressive, and you can see that he's left footing. You can see his front right locked up, and now he's turning in. He's actually understeering.
Right,
then he tries to kick the back of the car out to try to start drifting because he's supposed to be drifting at this point. That would be considered a super late initiation at that point. And when he did throw angle into it, the back ended up hitting the wall. And then Jonathan Hurst in the lead ends up hitting, a second after maybe? It's very, very close. So this is a difficult one. The 3 judges are going to have to make an independent call on their vision of what they think happened. Do they think that Hurst crashed first that caused Love to make the correction, or do they think that Love hit the wall on his own and then Hurst made the mistake independently as well?
Intuitively, I mean, to me it seems like Love was definitely making a mistake that was not caused by Hurst.
Yes, it looked like Love jumped in and tried to be very aggressive.
Yeah.
And you could see that he wasn't able to get to angle. You could see he was trying to get the car to rotate. Sometimes, what you're trying to do with the left foot brake is get the front to plant so that the rear can rotate around the front. Because sometimes there's too much grip in the back and it's kind of overpowering the front wheels. But by braking the front, it gives the rears an opportunity to break loose a little bit better.
So in the graphic that we have in the judging regulations about who's at fault, if it's an independent incident between both drivers, they would basically, both of them would need to claim their competition timeout.
Exactly, and it looks like in this case, Jonathan Hurst is in need of a competition timeout. He's getting hauled off on a truck. Love, on the other hand, the damage was just to the rear of his car and he drove off the track. That's not to say that his left rear wheel didn't make contact with the wall. I can see him parked over there by the start line area, so people are looking at his car right now, and I don't know if it's going to be too serious, and he might be forced to call a competition timeout,
so
even if he doesn't feel like he needs one.
Obviously, we need to get the other 2 judges to give their opinion on this because it's going to dictate what we're just talking about. But if it turns out to be what you're saying, where it's 2 independent, both of them crashed on their own, then basically both of them have to use their competition timeouts. Then it's going to be dependent on how bad the damage is to one car versus the other.
Yep.
Depending on how, they have to work on their car and who can do it faster and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And right now, just, looking at this from an outsider's point of view, the Love's car doesn't look like it's that bad. He drove off all by himself. Jonathan Hurst here, it looks like his car is in pretty rough shape. He's getting dragged onto a flatbed. It looks like the rear hit, then the front hit, and he could have some serious damage to the front end as well as the rear end, whereas Love might not have any damage.
All right, well, let's let you guys do your job here, and let's take a quick commercial break, come back with the results of what transpired there on a course. Was it an independent incident from both drivers, thus both drivers need to use a competition timeout and both drivers have a 0? Or is it something different? Here's the bracket as it is shaping up here. Schmidt, the first guy in the Final Four. We still have Brewski, Haley, Mata, Rahimi, and the result of Hurst and Love as we come back from Evergreen Speedway.
Your body is a machine with 800 horses coursing through its veins. Ignite it. NOS Energy, human horsepower.
You know what's better than changing your oil with Royal Purple? Changing your oil with Royal Purple and not getting your hands dirty. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you buy 5 quarts of Royal Purple motor oil, you will get a free box of Royal Purple nitrile gloves after a mail-in rebate. That's a $20 value. These gloves are awesome. I use them all the time around the shop or when I'm working on any one of my cars. And the best part is they're swipeable, so you can use your phone too. You know you gotta change your oil. This Royal Purple glove offer is available through September 29th only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
We're pumped to let you know about the Ford Performance Drift and Dirt Sweepstakes, where you can win your choice of a brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty Tremor, which is ready for work or outdoor adventure at any time.
Or a 480 horsepower, track-ready 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1.
All you have to do is head to driftanddirt.com for your chance to win.
Now we're going to alternate the order. Chelsea Denofa will lead. Chris Forsberg will give chase. A lot of pressure here for these two drivers. This is a good battle. And who's going to come out on top? Who are you pulling for? Denofa or Forsberg? Let him know. Denofa initiates into that first outer zone. Big angle. There's the three-wheel motion. Haven't seen that in quite some time. A plume of smoke coming off Chelsea's vehicle. Big wide swing for Chelsea Denofa. Chris Forsberg comes back, punts that centered front clip, and now in that last outer zone,
Chris Forsberg applying the pressure, makes some noise. Woo! I was like nervous about this run, to be honest. Look at Chelsea still drifting. You know what? Make some noise, Formula Drift.
Oh, man.
To be honest, I didn't know how that battle was going to unfold.
That might have been the best battle of the weekend
That might
so
be
far.
the best battle, and could you feel the tension like I could? And I think the fans did as well. Ryan, let's take a look at the replay. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, both drivers get out of the gate very quick. Big
Boom.
initiation
Look
there
at
from
that.
Denofa, three-wheel motion. Forsberg trying to eye up the line here. Denofa, massive smoke coming off the
smoke.
car as Forsberg tucks through. Now, the only mistake I think Forsberg makes is he probably should have gone a little bit deeper like Chelsea did, so he doesn't end up hitting this cone front and center with his bumper. But then outside that, as we go back to outside zone 1 again, you'll get a look at it here through the smoke that's being generated where Chris hits that inside clip. Now Forsberg is trying to get back on it, but Denofa mashing the throttle, ripping through this center section here, and this time Chris really, I think he does a better job than Denofa did in that section of the course, mirroring the line, but Denofa was aces through that first inside clip, really mastering that line there that we saw him and his teammate Vaughn Gittin Jr. doing. Incredible job by both drivers, and this is going to be a tough one for the judges. Probably the most aggressive and smoke-filled battle that we've seen all day.
Wow.
And look at that mirroring effect, the transitioning together and then door-to-door through the finish line with sparks.
Chelsea Denofa definitely getting it done in St. Louis. The three-wheel motion was back, and Chelsea Denofa and Chris Forsberg had the pass. A lot of tension going into that battle, but Chelsea fired on all cylinders, and from what I understood after the event, I asked Chris Forsberg, and basically, I don't know if it was that battle, but a weld popped on his intercooler in the back, so that's definitely unfortunate. All right, here we go. We are going to back to the action.
That was
here.
Saturday.
That was Saturday?
Yeah, that was Saturday, and he ended up getting 4th place.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you very much for reminding me. All right, Dimitri Brutsky and this Andy Haitley. Andy Haitley taking out Micah Diaz. Brutsky taking out Novak, and here they are. So Brutsky qualifying second or getting that, drawing the number 2 spot. Haitley with the 10th, so that means Brutsky will lead in this Achilles Tire Top 8 battle. Brutsky out front. Haitley in the chase position. More Beamers for more battles. And let's see how Brutsky can throw down. Ryan, we were talking about how strong his first battle was. Can he deliver it once again? Splash the pot. Here we go. Dimitri Brutsky initiates on the bank. You can see a little bit better angle there with the naked eye. But as they continue on, Brutsky holds it firm once again. Never settle on the bumper. Oh, Haitley, a correction there. Kind of beelines, cuts the corner. Brutsky, good angle from him. Tight to about the second hash mark on that front clip. Now into the outer zone. Oh, Brutsky. Saw him kind of re-step the car out. Looks strong, though. Really like what Brutsky put down. Ryan?
Yeah,
what do you
only
think?
a little hiccup there towards the end from Brutsky, but he is remaining consistent or continuing to be consistent as a lead driver. And he gets a good start here. You can see it was a pretty aggressive flick into the bank. Locks right in there after that last standing cone. Super high on the bank. Haitley's following him pretty decently here, but Haitley is going to be down on angle relatively, and then he's going to make a little bit of a mistake coming off of the bank here. Well, let's watch him. You can see that shallowing up right there, comes off a little bit lower. Brutsky still gets into outside zone 2 and 3. Now Haitley trying to gain some ground here through this inside clip, a slower section of the course. Little tiny hiccup there on this last little portion. Let's watch it again through the inside clip, transitioning back around. Brutsky has a little hiccup right there, isn't able to fully get it kicked out. So that was one little mistake there from Brutsky, but we saw that really early exit from the bank from Haitley, losing a little bit of angle there. We've seen the lead from Brutsky, the chase from Haitley, so let's switch it up.
Yeah, here we go. Haitley out front. We'll see how he handles it with Brutsky in his rearview mirror. And away they go. See if we get a clean start. No cones were hit. A reference of speed there, crawling off the start. Ryan, pointed out the 3-2-1 cones, and there they go. Initiated before. Haitley throws it in. Flirting with that wall, man, making me nervous, and I'm not behind the wheel of it. You can see Brudski with a little deeper angle there, keeping the proximity. Let's see if Haley takes the proper line. He does, and Brudski, man, you had a great lead run. Chill out. Ryan, this is where a spotter really comes into play here, but I don't know if Michael S. is in his ear. I know S. is helping him out, but I don't know if he's in his ear. Wow, Haley, great line there in the latter portion of that outside zone.
Well, Haley's definitely making a showing here this weekend, and a really competitive grade 8 battle, and comes out super strong. A nice flick into the wall there, gets nice and high on the bank early. Brudski does not want to let him get away, trying to reel him in here, matching that line and angle. You can see a little bit of a shimmy there from Brudski, but Haley leaves at the right time, comes down into the inner part of the power alley, fills outside zone 2. Nice transition there in avoidance in the chase by Brudski. Wide swing there from Haley. Super late apex on that inside clip. Really using all the course here. And then getting into this final section, he gets into that zone a bit late, but you can also see that Brudski did not fill the zone at all, did not follow him out there. So Haley putting up a fight against the number 4 in points right now. How's it gonna go?
And there we go. Ewell, there you go, Lontaine, and that's incorrect. Unfortunately, he did hit, so it said 2-1, but it was unanimous. It was unanimous. Brian Eggert did hit Dimitri Brudski, and that was unanimous. So just to clarify, saving Brian Eggert there from any ridicule there, as he did hit Dimitri Brudski. Lontaine, going to you, unanimous, Dimitri Brudski.
Yeah, unanimous vote there. Brudski did an amazing job in the lead. I'm really, really impressed with his ability to get the car set at angle, and you don't see his front wheels move for the entire outside zone 1. He's very, very capable of driving at a high level consistently, and this is the kind of driving that we're looking for a driver to move up to pro. He's really exhibiting his ability to set the car at angle, put it close to a wall, get close to other items on the track as well, and just be committed and kind of no fear. So he did a great job, and we saw some corrections from Haley, and he was cheating in the chase on the line. Haley
he was shorting up the course to gain that proximity.
Exactly. That's a nice way of saying cheating.
Oh, wow.
Hey, this is the verbiage we use in the driver briefing. You know, if you're in the chase position and you're cheating the line, of course you're going to be able to have good proximity, but Brudski did a better job in the chase of mimicking what Haley was doing without cheating anything. So that's why he gets the win.
Got it. Copy that. All right, so we are getting prepared here for our next battle, what was to be the final battle of the Grade 8, but we have to revisit Hurst and Love to see if they're able to fix their vehicles and get it back up to the start line. But Austin Mata and Human Rahimi, Minnesota versus Tennessee. And we got a couple Nissans here in a sea of BMW. So, like I said, Jonathan Hurst sharing resources with Human Rahimi, and I gotta say, Rahimi looking very strong as Mata pulls up to the start line. Mata going through Hoffman. He had a bye run his first run, as well as Human. Human has not had to do battle yet, so here he is showing up in the Grade 8 with no battles, because he had a bye run in the 32. Miles could not make it. Dustin Miles couldn't make it to the start line, and now here he is actually having to do battle to advance on. So we'll see if Human Rahimi's got what it takes to move on to the Final Four past Mata.
And in a very critical position as well. You know, Grade 8 points, obviously something that you look for in terms of adding it to your championship. Human Rahimi comes into this round in 6th place, and of course we had the podium finish for Austin Mata. So important battle here in the Achilles top 8. Who's going to be moving on to the Final Four?
Hashtag FDSEA, FD Seattle. Let everybody know today is day 1 of 3. This is round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. But tomorrow, round 3 and 4 of the FD Pro Championship. We will be giving away some trophies here for this round here at Pro 2 tonight. Who's coming out on top? Mata leads the start line and throws it in. Human, where you at? Throwing it in a little bit later, but let's see if he gains that ground. See him dropping down a little bit. Rahimi, middle of the road. Mata going to drop down into that power alley. Oh, and Rahimi, big correction there Looks like Rahimi loops it. Mata continues on, but he is in the lead position, so he does need to continue on. That'll be an incomplete in the chase position for Rahimi. He does salvage, he does save the car, I should say. Doesn't get into the wall, which is a good thing. As Mata crosses the finish line.
Was that?
Yeah,
I don't like when they play with fire like that.
Dude, it's fine. Everything's fine, Ryan. Using a quote, dash Ryan Sage. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, we know that Human Rahimi incomplete, so we don't really need to overanalyze that.
Right.
You obviously mentioned it and said it very clearly that really it's about Austin Mata being able to complete the run. Now, I don't know if this was him just kind of relaxing through the finish line because, you know, he saw or was told that Human had incompleted in the chase position either by his spotter or however that may or may not have been communicated. But he does unwind it a little bit more than I would like in terms of making this not controversial, right there. So it looks like he still had drift going through it, but I'd like to see him power through that finish line.
Right. Yeah, that's just that's playing with fire, like you said. So here we go. Human Rahimi, he needs to show up in a big way in order to take down Mata. And Human Rahimi, like I said, new engine program here this year. Talking with him at LS Fest, just getting familiar with the vehicle, really excited. Got a lot more horsepower than he had previously. And the lights are on, and now they're off. That means it's go time. Let's send it, fellas. Here we go. Rahimi out front. Mata in the chase position. Rahimi needs to turn up the flame. Here we go. He does that. Rolls into it. Big angle. Oh, man. This is looking like Wadman, but he holds on to it. Big angle, comes up and brings it into that second outer zone. Mata into the third. Here comes Rahimi. Around the front clip, does not get that close. Now Mata, I wouldn't call this and Rahimi shuts it down. That's gonna definitely be 2 incompletes for Rahimi, unfortunately, and that was way before the finish line. No questioning there, unfortunately, for Human Rahimi.
And during that shutting down, being an incomplete there, that would have been the end of the run. So this should be a pretty easy call for the judges here. All we needed to see Austin Mata do was get through this run without a lack of chase or falling far behind, sandbagging, something like that. Inactive chase, the technical term. Looks like he's able to do that. He does go almost 3 tires off, though, on outside zone 2, so that is not good. But Human Rahimi in the lead position is going to come through this last little section, and then right here, he's really not going to have anywhere to go. He has to reinitiate the car after he straightens up. So even though I don't like the 3 tires off, I don't think it's going to be enough to shift it over to it one more time.
Yeah, here we go. Slide him left for Mata or right for Rahimi. And it looks like it is unanimous. Austin Mata gets the win and moves on. So, Ryan, we saw him grab 3rd in St. Louis, and here he could be on pace. You know, we got Hurst and Love, who are still battling out. They battled with the wall, and now they're battling with the cars. But there is Love.
Yeah, Hurst did not make his 5.
Wow, so Jonathan Hurst does not make his competition time out, but Josh Love does. So this will be a bye run for Love, and he will advance on into the Final 4. So Josh Love advances on, our current points leader, takes out our second in points. So some separation will be made between 1 and 2. And of course, depending on how far Josh goes, he's going to be going against another E36, but very familiar with this track, Chase Schmidt. So here we go, our current Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship points leader. Remember, this is the halfway point after the trophies are given out. This is a good opportunity not only for Josh Love to get familiar with the conditions, but also make sure that the car is up to snuff because he is going against Chase Schmidt and because he's in the Final 4. He really needs to make sure that his car is running on literally all cylinders. and is running right from the suspension standpoint as well.
Interesting to think about the championship setup here. You mentioned the spread of points between 1 and 2 that's necessarily going to happen because we just saw Jonathan Hurst go out in a round where we're going to see Love advance. And really, Brudski and Mata are the closest in contention there. You got Brudski in 4th and Mata in 3rd place. But the local boy Schmidt could be the spoiler here, right? If we want to see the championship.
Spoiler points-wise, but definitely not spoiler as far as familiar with the track.
Spoiler in terms of the championship points.
Yeah,
in terms of tightening it up. If he's able to defeat Love, it really gives a nice helping hand to Jonathan Hurst, but an even bigger one to either Brudski or Mata, who are just sitting right there in 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah, so there is the Final Four. We are set for the Final Four. That is the Link ECU Final Four, the official engine management unit of Formula Drift. And we have our, again, going into the Final Four. So we are seeing Chase Schmidt and Josh Love. So we just saw Love rip and run through the course. And Ryan, overall, I think a lot of the drivers and seeing the Pro 2 manage the moisture and the puddles and all the conditions, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, even if we do see some rain with Pro. I mean, a lot of those vehicles on average are 1,000 horsepower, so a little bit more horsepower, but very similar. And the driving prowess, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, totally. I think the adaptability, even in the changing conditions, you know, from somewhat dry and wet to really, really wet has been super impressive. Obviously, it's really exciting to see the local boy here in the Final Four, potentially playing the role of championship spoiler. So we've got, you know, a really awesome story to tell in terms of championship. But I think the overall theme for this year is that the Pro 2 class continues to impress, not only in dry conditions like what we saw in St. Louis, but variable conditions here that have mostly been wet in Seattle.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. And again, forecast, just if you look at your phone, you could see Monroe, Washington, and you know, kind of the percentages all over the place. Just wait 15 minutes and it'll change. So it's definitely been exciting here. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from, I believe this is back here in when we saw Kelsey Rawlings in the grade 8, whittling down to the 4. So this is Chase Schmidt and Kelsey Rawlings. And like I said, Kelsey Spotter, I hope, was like, hey, follow him. He knows his track better than anybody else here. So unfortunately, Chase Schmidt just outshined the femme fatale that is Kelsey Rawlings. And this is where the 2 points leaders get into a tussle with a wall, not even with each other. You can see the hoop of the wheel. Looks like it's off to the races. It's entering that second power rally there, and Josh Love goes in the wall as well.
And I think I can count on one hand how many times independent incidents like that have happened.
Right. Yeah, and it just makes it confusing. It's awkward, and yeah, it's unfortunate. But man, Brudski, you know, without having seen competition until 16, he is really showing he wants this here today.
Yeah, totally. And you can't not mention Andy Haley here. He's had a great showing this weekend. Showed some really solid perseverance through some tough battles, a controversial battle in his previous run in the top 16. But Dimitri Brudski has been standout, and it's really about that consistency, Jared.
Yep. And speaking of consistency, Mata, again, 3rd place in St. Louis. Can he do it here again or better it? And Human Rahimi, like I said, I feel like he's just getting familiar with his car. He's really excited, having fun, just dialing it in. But he had a couple mistakes, both in the chase as well as in the lead. You see it right here coming into that final outside zone, shuts her down, and just reinitiates, so that'll be an incomplete. So that looks like Mata will advance on. So our Final Four is set. Chase Schmidt versus Josh Love, Brudski versus Austin Mata. When we come back, our Link ECU top 4 is upon us.
In my 1,000 horsepower competition drift car, I use Royal Purple XPR 5W50. XPR is specifically formulated to increase horsepower and torque in high performance and racing engines. And its revolutionary Cinerlic additive technology and zinc phosphorus fortified formulation provides the highest level of protection against heat and wear. The new 550 is all killer, no filler. It has better high temperature performance than any other 2050 engine oil. The result is a performance oil that protects like no other, utilizing superior base oils and additives. It's what sets Royal Purple apart from the rest, and what is also transferred down to their HPS high performance street oil, which is what I run in my daily drifter. So from here to here, all you get is extreme performance from the synthetic experts. Royal Purple.
Honestly, I think the Achilles 123S is the best tire for drifting. It's just so consistent. There's so much grip.
I love being on Achilles. It is incredible. The tire is incredible.
It's the best tire that I've ever used. Tons of grip. It's just so consistent, precise, very predictable.
Having a tire that's consistent all the way through from when it's cold to when it's roasting hot is very important.
I really wouldn't want to be on any other tire.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Link ECU. Link Engine Management, the official ECU of Formula Drift. Achilles Tires, tires you can trust. And Ford. All right, welcome back. And the Final Four is set. The Link ECU Final Four is upon us. Chase Schmidt, who has not called the competition timeout just yet, and I'm not cursing him by any means, but I'm only saying that because a lot of the other drivers have called them, and you know, it's been a wacky day here as far as even getting started a little bit late, but the party continues. Chase Schmidt from Snoqualmie, Washington, about 45 minutes from here, is going against Josh Love, our current points leader. Can he go back-to-back and win round 1 and 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship? Chase Schmidt would love to win right here in his own backyard. No sight laps. We are going for it. Twin E36s, fairly equal horsepower according to the numbers right there, 650 and 650. You got more than 1,200 horsepower on track, Ryan.
Yeah, just looking at the path to where he is now, trying to make his way to the finals, taking out Joe Lynn in the top 32, then Blake Olson, finally Kelsey Rowlings, and then Josh Love right now is going to be the biggest test for him so far this weekend. The one question I think we have outstanding, we talked about this a little bit maybe right before the break or during the break, is how is Josh's car mechanically? From what I heard from race control, it was really more cosmetic. That was one of the reasons why he was able to get away with not using his competition timeout.
Yeah.
So I have to assume that it's good, but you just...
he didn't have to use it.
No, it sounded like he was ready to go, and looking at Jonathan's car, I think he wanted to save it.
Got it.
And all he needed to do was get it to the line and be able to do that, and it was safe to drive. So that was probably
That's
a good
great strategy.
play.
Yeah, great strategy here because, I mean, here he is in the Final Four. He's still got more battles if he even goes to the final. Here we go. In the Final Four, we got Josh Love out front, Chase Schmidt giving chase. Literally into that outside zone. Here goes Love. Love riding high on the bank. Good angle from Love. Chase Schmidt, not as much angle. Look at Love throwing some more at it, ripping up. Into that second outside zone goes Love. Chase Schmidt diving on the inside, getting a little exclamation point there from Ryan Sage. And now transitioning into that final outside zone. A great top four battle there, the Big Duck Club. That was one big duck, as they are definitely water sliding off that duck's back.
Even with only a handful of people here and no public, you can definitely hear the support for Chase locally. And was he able to do enough in the chase to give himself an opportunity to go out there and lead? Here's the lead from Josh Love. It's pretty high on the bank. He's locked in his angle. You can see a little bit less angle there from Chase. Now he gets into it, tries to maximize the proximity while doing so. Really close here as they come down into that second outside zone. You can see Chase actually transitions much earlier, and that caused him to miss that third outside zone, but it did give him proximity. Here it is through the inside clip. Really close. They touch front wheels right there. And then the final transition, I wish that Chase would have given a little bit more of an opportunity, or given himself an opportunity to get to that third outside zone, because that may come back to hurt him. That was an area that he missed to gain proximity. But, you know, a couple little mistakes overall. Josh Love's lead run, pretty solid there. Yep. Nothing major, pretty much got to every zone and inside clip. So now we'll switch things up, and you can see the lights and the reflection of the rain here. It's still coming down, not moderately and not lightly. It's kind of that, you know, that in between, which is still going to create some traction and some annoyance problems.
All right, so here we go. Chase Schmidt will now lead. And again, similar to Kelsey's, you know he knows the track. Do you know the way to San Jose? Oh, wow. Josh, that could have gotten hairy. Man, he was beelining towards the wall. And Ryan, that's exactly what we're talking about, just the slickness of the track as Chase Schmidt, very familiar with the track. Love takes some angle out of it. Look at that, cutting the corner a bit as Love dives in shallow into that power alley. We'll see if he can continue on. And he does salvage that. Josh Love, our current points leader, is the local boy from Snoqualmie, gonna take out our points leader, Chase Schmidt, across the finish line with Josh Love in tow, Ryan.
Well, looking at the leads out of the gate, pretty similar, I think, at first pass. Josh Love almost threw it all the way on initiation. Let's take a look at it again. Almost the same thing with Jonathan Hurst. He transitions, see the front wheels, almost understeers right there, and that's going to really count against him. So let's just think about the lead runs for a second. How close is the lead run on the bank here for Chase Schmidt compared to Josh Love? I think it's pretty comparable. And you can see that Josh is dropping down. He's having some movement in the front wheels. He was on a lower line there. He does a much better job, I think, following Chase through that section of the course. But there was some mistakes made. So the big mistake from Chase in the chase position was outside zone 3. For Josh, it was the near fatal understeering and coming off the big bank early and being on the lower line. Now, between those two things, and if there's anything else that I missed in detail, is that enough to give the local boy a nod in his favor?
I mean, it's definitely looking that way, and I don't want to say that you're judging Josh to the winner, Josh, but what we've seen today is not, or what we saw just in that battle did not seem like the Josh Love that took it to the top in St. Louis. But Chase Schmidt definitely, he delivered when he needed to, and early on we were saying that, man, he's got to be feeling the pressure. Here he knows his track better than anybody else in Pro 2 competition.
Well, we've heard, Chris Ewell and Brian Eggert and Ryan Lantain say over and over again how important it is to go out and establish a quality lead run. And I think we saw that from, both guys for the most part. And then it becomes who did better in the chase. And I think there was definitely some sizable mistakes, from Josh Love.
All right, do we get an upset? Here we go. Chase Schmidt gets 1 vote. Gets 2 votes. Chase Schmidt gets the win. Chase Schmidt is going to the finals, and we're feeling the bleachers rumble here and erupt with Chase Schmidt's fans and family. Again, limited attendance, but Chase Schmidt upsets our current points leader. So Josh Love will go to the 3rd place battle So he still could podium in that Link ECU third place battle, and of course the Link ECU finals. So man, don't even need to look at it really. Just one quick glance there, and Chase Schmidt moves on. That was well executed, and that was unanimous.
What was it? I thought we saw it one more time come up.
Oh, there wasn't one more time? Oh, sorry. I apologize. It doesn't matter what you voted anyways. You were outnumbered.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna head out. So as Chase Schmidt goes to the finals, he waits to see who he's going to go against. I mean, these guys have to be going through maybe 2 sets of tires during this event, like barely, maybe. They're going to drive home on him. As here we go to the other side of the Link ECU Final Four, Brudski and Mata. As Brudski has been delivering in every single battle, and we are talking about just how awesome his battles have been, but it looks like the rain is coming down even more, and that could add to the slipperiness, the wavering. Never settle. Here we go. Brudski out front. Mata in the chase position. Who's going against Schmidt in the finals? Brudski initiates. High on the bank. Mata. Oh, Brudski. Oh, some wavering, but look at that. He throws it up to the wall, and Mata, he's got great proximity to the wall. Couple car lengths back. Can he bring it together into the splash zone? Not so much the power alley. Out of the power alley into that front clip. Mata a little bit tighter. You can see Brudski about the second hash mark. He does bring it out. Bring him out, bring him out. Ryan, let's take a look at this replay. Again, a lot of rain coming down on track, and you saw it very apparently coming to that power alley.
Yeah, which even more so makes you want to underline the fact of how well these guys are managing the conditions. Brudski and Mata both doing a great job. Little love tap there on the wall from Brudski, but saves it, gets back in it, looking impressive in the lead. Mata trying to chase him down, keeping that good angle, but a little bit farther back than he'd like to be. Comes through this center section into this second outside zone, reaching out there as best he possibly can. Here it is coming off of the big bank once again, and a great job of execution by Brudski in the lead. A little bit tighter there from Mata, which causes him to lose a little bit of angle. So in the chase position there, a couple mistakes from Mata, and then Brudski a little bit late to that final outside zone. But you can see that Mata did not follow him out there at all. Comes up way short, does not even get close to filling it, and was not able to get the kind of proximity that you'd like to see through the finish line. So he will have an opportunity to better the lead here, though, as now he will go to the front, and Dimitri Brudski will chase him down.
All right, thanks for watching some of our fans. Jackson Woodruff, 15 years old, watching from home. Looks like he's playing some games and watching the stream, man. Thanks for watching and tuning in. So let's see, again, the second half of this battle. All right. And you can see, again, just the rain keeps on coming down. Let's see what we got. Yep. And we will, Mata. Yep. All right. Chase Schmidt waits, as does Josh Love. Josh Love for the third place battle, because in previous years we don't have the consolation round, the third place battle, because we basically, third place is placed by qualifying. Who will be going against Chase Schmidt? Will it be Brudski or Mata? And here we go. Austin. It does Mata. Here we go, Austin. See how he handles the rain again. Look at how thick that is. Ooh, oh man, throwing a roost like a cigarette boat here. Wow, keep and staying in it are both the drivers. Brudski sheds some weight, coming now into the splash zone, filling all of that second outside zone. And Mata, man, that back end is bashed in, showing you that he has been all up in the walls business. And Brudski brings it on through. Man, Ryan, you definitely got loud on that one.
Yeah, the collapsible parts back there must have paid some big dividends, because that was like full beast mode into the wall twice, and he still was able to maintain relatively well. Let's take a look at it here. Brutski a little bit further back, trying to eye up Mata. There's the first one. The second one coming up here, that's the one that should have forced him into the wall, but he sticks in it, big angle. The back bumper collapses the way that I'm sure that he designed it to do so. And then you can see Brutski losing some parts as well. So parts all over the track as they get closer to leaving the big bank. Let's take a look as Mata hits that e-brake pull. Brutski was having a little bit of fidgeting behind him for a second there. Now coming into this second outside zone, you can see that Mata does a really good job eyeing up that outside zone, but Brutski does as well. Now his transition was a little bit early, so he wasn't able to fully get out to that zone or as wide as Mata was. And then this final section of the course here, you can see that distance from Brutski and Mata a little bit more apparent. So both runs in the bag. Three judges have to make a decision here about who's going to move on to the finals.
All right, who is going against Chase Schmidt? Is it Mata or Brutski? See if we have a verdict here from our judges. Yeah, I mean, a lot of back bumpers and bash bars on that back end for all these vehicles. Excited about round 3 and 4. Here we go. Slide them right for Mata. Austin Mata. Oh, Brutski goes left, and finally, Brutski gets the win. Brutski is going to the finals, going to Ryan Lontaine. As Ryan Lontaine going to elaborate there, it was 2 against 1 there, and Chris Yule was outnumbered by Ryan Lontaine and Brian Eggert. Lontaine.
Like I said earlier, Brutski's line on outside zone 1 is incredible. He gets the car set to angle. Those front wheels don't move. He's very precise. You could see him get into outside zone 2. He didn't touch either one of those cones, but he got the tire in the zone almost all the way through. Great on outside zone 3. Just he sets the angle and he just drives through it. It's a level of consistency and accuracy that is definitely what you're expecting in a Pro 1 driver. And I don't know if we've seen anybody be as consistently accurate and smooth as him, and it's a tough drive to beat. And that's what we say in the meetings, in the briefings. If you are laying down that amazing lead run, it's going to give you the opportunity to really shine, and it's going to be really hard for that other driver to beat you.
Yeah, and Brutski and Mata both had the same mistake. So not that Brutski was absolutely flawless, but a lot of it had to do with the rain. And there's a lot of water accumulation there. And there it is. You see, again, don't go chasing those things, waterfalls. As they came into the power alley, you saw both of them made those mistakes, especially in that second outer zone coming off.
Yeah, and I think what really pushed it over for me, giving it to Brutski, is Mata and his lead run actually straightened as he was going to outside zone 3 as well. So, you know, the little errors that you pick up on sometimes are weighted a lot heavier, and that was definitely a big one for Mata. He hit the wall multiple times up there. The back of his car exploded. I was amazed that he was able to keep the car at angle and not lose angle or end up in the wall in that section. So kudos to him for making it through there, but definitely put some damage in the back of his car.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of back ends here are hurting, but they're excited to be throwing down here round 2 of this Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. This was the path of success for Chase Schmidt. Now, Chase Schmidt, you saw him just do battle against Josh Love. Ryan, like I said, this guy knows the track better than anybody else here in Pro 2.
He's fully taking advantage of the opportunity put in front of him here in his home crowd, getting to the finals and giving himself a real shot to stand on that #1 spot on the podium. It was not an easy path. He had to do a battle in every single round. No buys for him this weekend, so he has been very, very active and has taken out some top competitors. And on the other hand, you know, you've got Dmitry Brutski, who, you know, Ryan just mentioned, for him has been really the most consistent in the lead runs. And I have to agree with that. When you look at the totality of what he's gone through this weekend, has really just been able to refine and do a good job in meeting the standard of criteria that the judges are looking for.
I mean, Brutski from St. Louis to Seattle, very different driver. Now, keep in mind, Mata is, you know, he was 3rd place in St. Louis, and he could be back there again because he is in the 3rd place battle. He could be back there. It's about consistency. You know, you have 4 very quick rounds. You know, here we are at the halfway point, when we give out those trophies on the podium. So, Mata could still come up and deliver at the end of a culmination of 4 rounds of the 2020 season.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's really weird to say we're halfway through
Right.
after 2 weeks of competition or whatever it's been. But, these are really important rounds, and I think the story that will be sown towards the end of the year, a part of that is going to be how people did in St. Louis and how they adjusted in these conditions in Seattle. And who knows what we're going to get in Texas and Irwindale. I have to imagine that, different times of the year there's going to be changing conditions. But this 2020 class has been superb, and we've seen some guys kind of rise to the top, the cream rising to the top. But, today is possibly a day for somebody new to come in the mix, and that's where Chase Schmidt stands to kind of raise the roof a little bit more and, win from the home team.
I like it. But regardless, Josh Love is still going to continue on. He could still get that final podium spot, but Mata would like to deliver as well. So, again, we have number 1 and number 3 in St. Louis. How are they going to fare? Do they get that final podium spot? Love versus Mata here in this 3rd place battle, brought to you by Link Engine Management, the official engine management of Formula Drift. You can see Mata warming up his tires. Just got done going against Brutsky and says, get back out there. Also, Royal Purple, buy any 5 quarts of Royal Purple High Performance Motor Oil and receive a free box of Nitro Work Gloves by mail. This is available all the way until September 29th, online and in U.S. stores. Qualifying purchase must be made from O'Reilly Auto Parts, not valid in combination with any other offer. So Royal Purple and O'Reilly Auto Parts. And back there, Josh Love warming it up. Again, feeling the flow, feeling the vibes. He had a great round in St. Louis. It bears repeating, coming to us from Colorado. And Mata will lead. Love will give chase. Love does Mata. Mata Love. I'm with it.
I'm standing in agreement with you.
Wow. I don't know you're going to side hustle at a Waffle House, man. That's like perfect. It was like many of the Waffle House, waitresses that I've received. Here we go. Mata out front. Love in the chase position for 3rd place. Rain is coming down. The wipers are on. And the throttle is, and the cone is hit. So we will restart. First strike of the day there. Got a light switch brave going on there to make sure that you, somebody's, I mean, there should be a warning label on that like a Nintendo when you play Pokemon. A cone was hit, so that'll be a strike for Austin. And still ready to go. Sending cars for our restart for these boys. All right, we got a clean start. No cones hit. Austin slow out of the chicane and out of the start. Austin throws it in. Oh man, he backs it in. Once again, that thing is absolutely deformed in the back. Now it looks like he's throwing a gang sign out there, man. Look at that thing, that trunk. He's got active arrow in more ways than one. Holy cow, look at that. That's awesome. All right. So around that final front clip and brings it on home. Love and Mata leaving it all out on the course for 3rd place. Make some noise. Woo!
Mata has this uncanny ability to take a beating, but not make it look bad, and just show some incredible car control. I mean, there's an element of comedy underlying it just because the trunk lid goes up. But let's take a look at this. You can see Josh Love dives in. Oh no!
Trying to get that replay shot right there. He just says, "What's up, my G?" Look at this thing. Ready?
He's going to tap the wall.
What's up,
here.
dog?
You can see Josh Love is a bit tighter than he needs to be, and he's going to be struggling a bit here in the chase
I thought Shark Week was last week.
But Mata was able to absorb that. You can see him going through that section.
Got a late giggle from Ryan.
Let's look at this again cleanly here so we can get a good analysis of what happened. But Josh Love was a bit down on the big bank. He's fidgeting around a little bit. Mata, after the contact with the wall, adjusts pretty nicely here, whips it into that outside zone, and you can see that Josh Love is much tighter there. He does not get to outside zone 3. Mata's able to transition back around, make it look clean, and he just fills maybe 50% of that final outside zone with Josh not doing that. So I think it was a really impressive lead run from Austin Mata overall, and looked very much in control even with the wall tap. And even so, from the run prior, he looked in control. He just has this uncanny ability to kind of take a hit into the wall and not flop out like we see a lot of drivers and a lot of cars do, getting that front end sucked in the wall. He has an incredible amount of fortitude to keep the car going where he wants it to go.
Wiping down the windshield there for Love and Mata. Yeah, that windshield wiper's going ham there on Austin's car. You're going to lose a finger there. I wouldn't go near that windshield. And here it is once again with the trunk popping it up.
Yeah, there's 2 hits. It's the second one that lifted it up like a can opener. And obviously that caught all of our attention, but it's important to take a look at Josh Love in the chase position, because I don't think he really filled the obligations and the roles that he needed to. And Mata looked great in the lead run, even with tapping the wall. He did not really lose that much angle. We did see this surge here from Josh Love towards the end, but it came at the sacrifice of not getting into outside zone 4.
Okay, it looks like picking up some aero, making sure the banners are all good. And we'll be back to the second half of this battle. Love out front and Mata in the chase. The Link ECU third place battle. Yeah, these guys shredding. I mean, they're leaving an entire car out here on track with all the different body parts left. Can see the track workers here. So Ryan, you pumped for tomorrow? Obviously, we still have the finals here in this third place battle, but tomorrow round 3 and Sunday round 4.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. You know, the adaptability of drivers and pro is going to have to be equal to or greater than what the Pro 2 guys did, and we know that there are some true veterans in the wet conditions in the Pro Series. You know, will that be a factor, or will it dry up? And we've seen the weather change so much. It seems like Sunday looks to be the most consistently in the dry from, you know, starting looking at the weather earlier in the week on Monday. But I can imagine tomorrow having moments of dryness, but it's really going to be about, you know, how consistent that is over the course of the day, and how much adjustments are going to need to be made.
Yeah, I was just looking at the forecast right now. It's about to be steamy here with Love out front. Love and Mata. Love throws it in hard. Man, that angle looks so precarious. Wow. And wow, Mata still just digging deep. Here's a shovel. Can you dig it? Yes, you can. Into that second outer zone goes Love and Mata, and I believe Love knows he really needs to throw down. Like you said, Ryan, in that chase position, he didn't really have the exact line, but Austin Mata a little short on that final outside zone. Ryan, lead versus lead, chase versus chase. This is going to be close, but man, Austin was not backing down at all.
Yeah, what I am starting to think more about with this Pro 2 class is that a lot of the top guys, and that includes many in the top 10, they don't really make a lot of the frivolous mistakes, and the mistakes that you intuitively would think are coming. You know, they do make mistakes, they do tap the wall, but they don't crash after they do it in the way that we've seen with Mata. This time with Josh Love out front, doing a much better job in the lead position. You can see Mata does tap the wall, the front wheels move around a little bit, so getting a second glance of that coming off of the big bank. You can see Josh was doing a great job in the lead, hitting both the second and third outside zones, with Mata choosing not to go to at least the third. And in the final section here, Josh positions himself nicely. He gets into that zone pretty early, maybe about a quarter of the way in, and fills it pretty well, and Mata, on the other hand, does not get completely out there to follow him on the appropriate line. So another tough call for the judges here, Jared, but this is what we expect in the Final Four.
Man, look at that. I mean,
third place.
I think Love's car started out as a 325 E36. Now it's a 318, given the back bumper just smashed in. But hit the wall. It doesn't even matter. I mean, look at that thing. He's just getting into it. And, man, I'm definitely impressed, like you said, Ryan, just the ability and what they're doing in Pro 2, the progression and how it's ending up. I think it's just made for some great competition. Very exciting. All right. Do we have verdict for third place here at round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship? One more time. And then go. Oh, it's a one more time battle for these guys. And it is unanimous one more time. So we are not going to advance on just yet. So they're going to leave it all out here on the course. And they are doing just that. And they'll have to go at it again. And I'm telling you, I don't think they need to change tires. Just get back up there. Yeah. So I don't think they need to change tires, man. I think they're just going to go for it. Yep. And that's the beauty of the rain. That's the perk of the rain.
I didn't think about this, but there's some people that are saying, oh, shouldn't Mata be disqualified because his trunk popped up? And that's what we saw with the Odie situation in St. Louis. The distinction there is that if it happens, if it happens in the course of competition, it's not a something that would eliminate a driver.
Right.
It's when they forget to latch it, or the hood pops up and they can't see. Not something that that came as a result of something that happened on the course with another driver or a wall or whatever. That's totally allowable because you expect those things to happen in competition. You just don't want them to happen without any of those things happening.
Right. All right. So thank you for the delineation there and the definition of again, like you said, Odie's door opening. But obviously, you could see Mata has taken a licking. So what's going on here? Grabbing some fuel. All right, so Love will throw some fuel in the tank. Looks like Mata stays in the burnout box. Hashtag FDSEA, let everybody know you guys are watching here. We are on our one more time battle for third place. We still have the battle of Schmidt and Brutsky for the finals. We'll throw some fuel in. So Ryan, you're talking about tomorrow. Any expectations in regards? You're talking about Frederick Osbo driving in the rain, but I know Ryan Turk, he's in contention, but overall a lot of these drivers definitely capable to drive in the wet.
Yes, and I think one of the new things that we learned, and I'm not sure that we'll continue this policy moving forward, is that we made the bracket for this round public leading up to this event. And I know that there was, some people that, would think about, well, is that going to affect my practice? Will it affect the way people line up, against me if I know who I'm going to be battling against? I don't know what the outcome of that was, but certainly that is something different that poses, a variable that we haven't seen in the past. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out tomorrow.
Yep. All right, well, it's still Pro 2 time, so when we come back, we'll see the third place battle. Because in the end, nothing really matters going against Love. We'll see if Love wins when we come back.
My 1,000 horsepower competition drift car, I use Royal Purple XPR 5W50. XPR is specifically formulated to increase horsepower and torque in high performance and racing engines. And its revolutionary Cinerlic additive technology and zinc phosphorus fortified formulation provides the highest level of protection against heat and wear. The new 550 is all killer, no filler. It has better high temperature performance than any other 2050 engine oil. The result is a performance oil that protects like no other, utilizing superior base oils and additives. It's what sets Royal Purple apart from the rest, and what is also transferred down to their HPS High Performance Street Oil, which is what I run in my daily drifter. So from here to here, all you get is extreme performance from the synthetic experts. Royal Purple.
Honestly, I think the Achilles 123S is the best tire for drifting. It's just so consistent. There's so much grip.
I love being on Achilles. It is incredible. The tire is incredible.
It's the best tire that I've ever used. Tons of grip. It's just so consistent, precise, very predictable.
Having a tire that's consistent all the way through from when it's cold to when it's roasting hot is very important.
I really wouldn't want to be on any other tire.
Back, and this is third place. The one more time battle was too close to call. It was unanimous. OMT across the board, including Chris, Brian, and Ryan. So here we go. Let's see who really matters and shows up. As Austin Matta will lead. Josh Love giving chase once again. Let's send it, fellas. Who's going to come out on top? And Austin zooming past the camera. Austin backing it in. Oh, Josh Love jumps up to the side. Austin keeps it off the wall. A lot more fluid this time. Doesn't get into the tussle with the wall. Fills all that second outside zone. Into that third outside zone. Josh Love seems to be finding a little bit of secret sauce there. Doesn't get too tight to that front clip. Austin very deep in that final outside zone. Really well done by Austin out front.
Yeah, I mean, both drivers really stepped up their game on this one more time battle. It's really apparent here. A slight little hiccup in the initiation from Austin. Noticeable, but not big. Then you see Josh Love dive in, put the pressure on immediately, doing that left foot brakey to kind of control the car. Really close on proximity, but this time around, he really kind of matched the line and matched the angle for a decent duration. Less of those kind of like shaky moves with the front wheels. There's a couple of them right there, but much more improved the second time around. Out front in the lead though, Matta is looking really consistent and strong. He has great angle. As he sets up this final outside zone, he's gonna fill it completely. This is almost like a practice run for him. He gets right at the beginning and fills that thing almost to the wall for 100% of that outside zone. So he got his bumper in 100% of that and almost got to the wall towards the end. So great job there. And seeing the improvements in the chase from Josh Love, This battle is very close right now, and somebody's got to make a distinction between the two of them. Who's it going to be, Josh Love or Austin Mata?
And unfortunately, it could be a major mistake or it could be a big win. Here we go. Love out front. And there it is. Love goes in hard. What the heck? How does he continue to do that?
He went in really hard.
Slapping the base, and then he keeps on going. I thought that was going to absolutely end Josh Love. That is one heck of a bash bar, I'll tell you that. As Love continues on, but Austin Mata, he took a big hit there too. Man, let's take a look at this replay here, Ryan. That was wild.
I don't want to speak out of turn here, but my first intuition is that Austin Mata was in very close proximity.
Did he hit him into
and
it?
Josh going into the wall right here is what caused that for Mata making the adjustment. That's my very first intuition. That's from the overhead angle. What the judges are going to be looking at is, was there any behavior in Mata's car that gives evidence towards him spinning out, or was that as a direct result, or at least much more of an argument as a direct result for Josh Love causing that? That's what they're going to be looking at here. Yeah. And I already knew that because I could hear one of the judges say, lots of replays. Let's take a look at this again. Is there anything independent about what Mata is doing, or is him maxing out the angle comes after Josh does that?
Josh Love. Yeah, it really looks like it's Josh Love that once he hit the wall, he straightened out immediately. And I think Mata was rightfully kind of afraid there of what was going to happen in front of him. Yeah, I think that's a miscalculation on Love's part on the initiation to get the car a little bit too far out there. And we were just surprised that the car was able to continue drifting. From that initial view of it, we thought, ooh, that's going to destroy that rear wheel and everything. And somehow he just managed to hit the rear quarter panel, and it didn't damage any drivetrain that we could tell. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he continued on. I question if he even hit the wall, and it was just an illusion, some craziness right there.
Well, there's not much of a rear quarter panel or bumper anymore. But
and you can see his hands. You can see his hands grabbing a handful of wheel there that he did straighten out. So that's going to be an incomplete for Josh in the lead position because of the fact that he did lose angle there. He straightened up and he had to reinitiate. So that will have a big impact.
That would put an end to the run anyways, right?
Yeah, that's going to have a big impact on the judge's decision in that case, because he hit right as the wall curved, so he was way on that wall early. I don't think anybody else has been in that area. Clearly, it's a dangerous spot to be putting your car.
Well, let's find out who gets third place here. And it looks like slide him right for Austin Mata gets the win. Austin Mata gets the win, taking out our points leader, Josh Love. So Josh Love sitting outside in fourth place. Austin Mata, repeat customer there for third place, as he got it in St. Louis as well. As Mata gets the win. Our finals are upon us. Only one more battle to go. All right, our final battle. Snoqualmie's own Chase Schmidt going against Dmitry Brutsky. And there it is. It was official. It was unanimous. Austin got the victory. And he moves on and gets third place. And who will get the win? There it is, Chase Schmidt. Or from Belarus, that is Dmitry Brutsky. Both these guys in BMWs. Let's see who comes out on top. Ryan, the way Dimitri's been driving, looks confident. Definitely a different Brutsky and vehicle from St. Louis. Chase Schmidt, this is his backyard. You're on his turf. This is home field advantage, Ryan.
Yeah, and this is a massive opportunity for him. He's already going to have a huge jump in points. Coming into this event, he was sitting in 16th place. He is a rookie, but so is Josh Love and Austin Mata. So he has an opportunity to get probably into the top 10 either way, but with 100 points and the 32 that he already has, it's going to be a big jump for him no matter what. It's just a matter of whether or not he can get through as Judge Ryan Lontaine said, probably the most consistent lead driver that we've seen. And of course, Dimitri Bruschi is going to be leading out of the gate.
All right, let's get ready to send it here for this final battle here. Round 2, the Link ECU Management Finals are here. Run 1, never settle. Let's see if Dimitri Bruschi lives up to that motto on his front bumper. Let's get ready to send it for our first ever no attendees event, making some history. Here we go, Dimitri Bruschi. And that of Chase Schmidt. Dimitri initiating into the bank. Let's see how they handle. The sun is setting, but who will rise? As Dimitri, big angle. Oh, Chase Schmidt comes out of angle, holds on to that proximity. Bruschi, massive angle coming into the power alley. Lontaine, that's exactly what you're talking about. Into that second outside zone. Now tighten it up to the front clip, about the third hash mark. Now bringing it back into that final outside zone. There goes Bruschi. Digging all the way in, dragon tail light. Great run by Dimitri Bruschi. Chase, in chase position, had some great moments. Like I said, fell out of angle a little bit, but kept the proximity.
Well, it makes it very difficult to beat a driver like Dimitri Bruschi when he does stuff like this. He basically locks into his line and challenges the chase driver to come up to the wall with him. He's right up against the wall, pretty much at almost full lock there, and you can see Chase is doing a great job on proximity, but in terms of the fluidity and the balance in the vehicle, he's moving around quite a bit, surging back and forth. So he'll get points for proximity, no question, but he's obviously a little bit unsettled in the chase in that section of the course at least. Now Bruschi is going to eye up his exit from the big bank, get right to that second outside zone, get that left rear wheel right in there. Kind of the same with the right, could have been a little bit deeper. So we are at least seeing an opportunity for Chase when he gets to his lead run here. Chase, as Bruschi kind of late apexes that inside clip, does a great job on the transition, puts a nose right near the back bumper, but Bruschi goes very deep into that final outside zone. And once again, sets a pretty solid standard here that Chase is gonna have to try and match. Chase, on the other hand, kept pressure on really well on the big bank, decent through outside zones 2 and 3, much better on inside clip 1, but came up a little bit short on outside zone 4. So let's see what he can do here in the lead as Dimitri Bruschi chases him down.
Here we go, Chase Schmidt. He is right here in his own backyard. This is his home track. Can he take out Bruschi? We've just seen an amazing wash, rinse, repeat, set it and forget it, set the timer for 15 seconds and just smoke him along that wall. But Chase Schmidt, I feel like he is going to step it up. He needs to leave it all out here on the track. Here comes Chase Schmidt making history. Hopefully more ways than one for him. Chase Schmidt initiating. Oh, and a big correction there. He taps the wall, stays in it. Bruschi, man, he is just grinding down that back. Oh, and Chase Schmidt. And that will be a wrap. And you see Bruschi throw his fist out the window. Judges are not even going to be needed. We assume the outcome here, unfortunately for Chase Schmidt, a major mistake there, but still needs to hold his head high. An amazing performance there by Chase Schmidt. You can see Dimitri getting hyped, feeling the flow, Ryan. And again, man, awesome run there by Chase Schmidt here in his backyard. But Belarus's own Dimitri Bruschi, a little celebratory burnout there, Ryan.
Yeah, he knows there's no other logical pathway than a win here for Dimitri Bruschi. We'll make it official by bringing them down center court and having you do the honors, Jared. But obviously, as soon as we saw the big straight in there, let's take a look at it. Let's see if we can see what happened. Chase gets a great start. He eyes up that bank really well, dives in, and stays pretty locked. You can see Bruschi almost had a little bit of a trouble there. Watch, he starts angling up, losing some distance here. But then the front wheels of Schmidt are going to give after he taps that wall. Stayed in it a little bit too long, drives off course. As soon as that happens, it's game over. It's an incomplete by the lead driver, and Bruschi knows that he puts his hand out the window. He's like, there's no way I can lose this now. And he's absolutely correct about that. A hard-fought weekend in terrible conditions from these Pro 2 drivers, but Chase Schmidt, he should raise his head very high. He did a great job representing the local community here. and he is going to find himself deep into the championship chase by doing what he did here this weekend, jumping up probably into the top 10 with the performance that he had here this weekend.
Yeah, an awesome performance here by local driver Chase Schmidt. And again, Austin Mata grabbing that third place position. Don't know where he's at. Maybe he's repairing that back bumper because that thing has been grinded down. As we will have our trophy ceremony. And make some noise for them as they step outside of their vehicle. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in. He's saying he can't see. So again, never settle right there on his chest.
Let's give him, what, 30 seconds? 45?
And there are drivers. We'll bring up our third place driver up to, as Ryan called it, center court. I like that. Traditional start finish here. Ryan, overall, some really great Pro 2 driving. Love shaking things up as he gets just outside in fourth place. Hurst went out in the great 8. But again, Mata delivers in third place, so that could shake things up.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see some trends, right? We see some drivers that are continuing to rise to those top positions, but at the same time, we're still seeing some of the drivers that we didn't see on the podium last round really come through this event with some strong driving. Now, whether or not was that they were acclimated to the weather or they made the changes and were prepared enough to deal with the conditions and all the competition that they had to go through this weekend, either way, they did everything that they could do, and they deserve to be in the position that they're currently in as we wait for Austin Mata to join us here down in the center of the track as your third place finisher.
All right, looks like he's making his way over the course. You can see him there. Don't enter. Don't initiate into the wall there, Austin. As we'll get him out here, grab some photos, and join us over at the podium. We'll wrap it up here, and we'll give out some trophies. But again, no attendees other than teams and crew. So make some noise for him as he steps outside our vehicle. Third place at round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Make some noise for Austin Mata. Third place once again. And there he is. So now, first place here at round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Your winner behind the wheel of a BMW on Achilles tires from Belarus. It is Dmitry Brutsky. Never settle. Takes the top spot. And that means from Snoqualmie, Washington, about 45 minutes away from here. He's got some work to do. Now he's going to work on Dylan Hughes' team. Second place, making the PNW proud. Make some noise for Chase Schmidt. Second place right here in his own backyard. Congratulations, Ryan. 1, 2, and 3, a great showing by all the Pro 2 drivers. I'm going to head down and hand out some Pro 2 trophies. So you just want to close it out here for us up here, and we'll give out some trophies down there. And Ryan, really excited about tomorrow. Great driving today. There's no promise on what the weather's going to look like for tomorrow at all. You can see Michael Essa smiling and laughing down there. Congratulations all around for him. But yeah, really excited about tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. And congratulations to Dmitry Brutsky as he heads on over to the podium for the podium ceremony as we start wrapping things up here for round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. An incredible job by all the competitors in crazy conditions, and probably more still to come for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much on behalf of the whole Formula Drift staff, our judges, Ryan Sage, I'm Jared Dienda. I'm going to head down and follow those guys and give out some trophies. Thanks for joining us. Remember, join us tomorrow for round 3 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. And again, on Sunday, the doubleheader action. So, Ryan, I'm going to head on down to the podium, and here's some highlights of round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. We'll see you online, and we'll see you another time. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.